Okay, we're doing another Unclicked podcast right after Chris Moeller, Brad Sims, Brandon Simonuk, Matt Ray. This better be
Quite
good,
the
man.
build up. High expectations.
And Matt Ray's dog and my dog are having a great time in the living room right now.
They're going nuts now.
Yeah.
You're going to hear the claws tapping probably most of this podcast. Got two big dogs having a blast.
Yeah. I feel like they've been quiet till now, and now I can just hear them going nuts in the background.
That always happens.
So shout out to Unclicked. Wait, no, it's not Unclicked.
Traction Coffee, Unclicked
Jeez.
brand.
Turn the brain on here.
Shout out to Mike Murfitt.
Yeah, we're all drinking it. This shit is good.
Yeah.
This is how we fuel these podcasts most of the time. If you like coffee, we're drinking Traction Coffee Unclicked, and $5 of every bag bought from Traction Coffee Unclicked goes to
a pot to get somebody out to do the podcast. So
could be Joe Rich, could be Todd.
I didn't even know that actually.
Yeah. Could be That's Edwin, cool. Whoever the fans pick. We got a huge list of people we dream of having on here.
I think maybe around when this podcast comes out, I'll start the survey. So get it going. You know, I think may give away a couple bags on Instagram, and we have our own Instagram now.
We do, yeah. Follow Unclicked if you're a fan of it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Cool. Try and branch out a little bit. So
yeah, keep people up to date a little bit more because RBMX has a million things going on, which is great. Yeah. But having a RBMX and Unclicked, I
literally have 4 different Instagram accounts now.
What's the
5 actually?
What are they?
Well, I have at BMX, Unclicked, my personal one.
The RBMX clips.
RBMX clips.
I didn't know about that till recently.
And
those are sick too.
That's so sick. Yeah.
I have at BMX Day.
At BMX Day.
Yeah.
So you kind of run BMX?
No. No, it's existed, but reached out to somebody. So because BMX Day is on July 20th, and then they got super busy, and they haven't really done all that much with it. So I'm gonna try and Creasy.
Oh, okay.
From the time at Monster with the Street Series and all that stuff. So gonna take over that Instagram account and try and revive it and kind of pump up, pamp up.
A lot of good stuff
BMX Day, yeah. So my Instagram. My Instagram, you go to switch accounts. Is like,
I don't know how
you cannot add
amazing.
more accounts.
You gotta limit your hours on social media now.
Oh, I have
so
that.
I
feel like having 5 Instagrams. How can what are you limiting?
Your entire day.
10 hours or less.
Bare minimum. Yeah. Really, literally, I try not to. I go on there with purpose.
Okay.
It's
a job.
It's the best way to do it.
Yeah. So because you can't.
Until 45-minute passes and you're like, shit, I'm scrolling. Get me off. Yeah.
The rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So thank you, Matt Ray.
Yeah. No,
we
thank
have
you
matching
guys.
colored T-shirts today. So
yellow gang. Hey, Traction Coffee's yellow too. So.
Yeah, there we go.
This looks planned.
Yeah.
You are
strategic.
Doing a massive road trip. You've been on the road for like months, right?
I actually just checked. It's funny because I've been driving so much and just seeing so many people. Everyone's like, dude, how long you been on the road? How long you been on the road? I've said 3 weeks for so long now, and I was like, I gotta look and see how long. But it's actually I'm on 7 weeks right now.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. The longest road trip I've ever done. So I'm psyched.
That's cool.
Just you and your dog in the truck and BMX bikes?
Pretty much. I mean, I left with my girlfriend. She came all the way to California. She stayed for like 4 or 5 days and then flew home. And on the way out, we stopped in Denver a little bit, but the weather was so weird. So we wanted to stay longer, but we were like, no, just get to California. Just chilled at the beach with her for a bit. I didn't even ride the first week I was here. And then that 420 jam happened. And that was like right when she flew out that morning. And I was like, first session on the biggest dirt jumps I've ever ridden. That's not happening. So that's why I was down to film the Brakeless TV thing. That was cool. But
yeah, I've never seen you behind a camera.
I was like, filmed it.
Yeah,
I was just on an angle.
I rolled up. It was kind of a last minute thing, and like Tony Ennis is there. I'm like, of course he's gonna film it. He kills it with all that, and then Matt's there, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. You're gonna ride this trail jam, and he just had this huge. He's like, nah, I'm filming with this huge.
Even
camera.
hanging with Tony was cool. I've never like chilled with him, and the first thing in California, it's like Andrew, Tony, like I'm hanging out with you. I was like, this is insane.
Yeah,
like,
this is California.
This is California,
yeah.
but. Dude, it's been awesome. Just been traveling around a bunch, riding parks. I went the PCH highway through Big Sur. I did that the other day, and that was probably like the coolest drive I've ever done.
It's a beautiful drive.
Just
the whole time, like
you're on the coast the whole time, right?
Yep, right up to Santa Cruz. It was insane, and it was actually you texted me about doing this podcast on the drive, and I was like in and out of service, and I got your text, and I was like, this is insane, because I was like drinking coffee, just driving along the coast, like windows down, just the breeze. I was like, this is insane. It was cool. It was like a pretty cool thing.
That's awesome.
It's pretty interesting that most people, when they get big in BMX, move to like one of the hubs, Southern California or Austin or Barcelona, or at least like near those areas.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool.
The dogs have brought the fight.
The dogs are fighting in here.
Here we go.
When you're in California, it's like there kind of always feels like there's something going on.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you
Even
want to
just-
travel an hour or two, you
Yes,
can go.
that's what I was trying
you
to get
can
at.
go
Thank you.
and cruise with a crew of dudes that rip, or there's an actual jam, or there's something to film.
Even
or
just
somebody to
that,
meet
like
up with.
if you want to ride, there's a session. Whether you got to drive an hour, 2 hours to LA or San Diego, but then even so, if you just want to hang out, it's like I was at the beach and I see Chris Fox and Corey go ride by.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is insane. Just riders everywhere. But then even just the photographers and filmers, that's insane. I was staying in Laguna Beach at my buddy Pablo's, and he's from Boston as well. He drove out here about a year ago, maybe a little longer, and he's been living out here ever since. But
Yeah, he was sick riding the trails that day.
yeah, I'm sure you guys know him. But his neighbor is Andre. So I don't know his last name.
Oh, the photographer from Brazil.
yeah,
right?
but it's his
Oh, wow.
neighbor.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like the amazing photographer across the street.
Yeah.
And then Andre lives with this kid Blair, who's a pro skimboarder surfer. And it's like Laguna Beach kind of is like California. It's
Yeah,
like palm trees,
that
insane
really is.
cars all day. And we're just hanging out. I'm like, yeah, I want to go hang out at the beach today. Want to do this? And then we see Blair and Andre just going out on their adventure. I'm like, damn, it's really happening. It's like really is happening out here.
How does it feel? Because where you live you're like really far northeast. You have an amazing scene where you grew up at. We'll talk about that later. But
Yeah.
it's not the hub where there's all the filmers and photographers. You have a good scene, but
Yeah.
is it a different feeling when you're back home compared to here?
That's like the tough thing, because I can ride with my friends all day and months pass because you're just having fun having sessions, but then I'll think, I'm like, damn, I haven't filmed like a legit clip or shot anything in a while. And then you kind of start planning like, all right, I got to do a trip, got to go on a trip. And for a while I was like, I'll do California in the winters, do a few weeks and stuff like that. And it worked out because back home I had Rye Airfield, so I can just ride there for the most part of the winter. But now Rye Airfield's gone.
It's gone?
It's gone for good. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And
That was one of the
that a
best
COVID
parks
thing?
ever.
Kind of COVID, I think a few other things. And then the guy who runs it, Bo, he supported our scene for so long, and like he did everything there. He runs the park, but then you would go there and you see him fixing the toilet. Like he's just doing everything. And I think it just got to be too much for him. And I think he said once it's not bringing in money, it's just, I got to close the doors. And I think people have been talking about it for a while. And then it was almost one of those things like, it'll never happen. It'll never happen. Then now that it has, I've been thinking about coming to California for a while now, and being home, I was like, there's nowhere to ride right now. So
No
I have my
indoor
truck.
parks?
I dialed the thing in and just, I was like, this winter, I'm going to California for a bit. It's funny, it took me till the end of winter to actually leave. But once I did, I was,
But you were out here a couple of times over winter as well, too, right?
yeah, we did a few little trips. I just stayed with Pablo in Laguna Beach, and we kind of tripped around, went to Long Beach, San Diego and stuff. But
Having Rye Airfield was like, you didn't really need to go anywhere in the winter. You had
That was the
one of
thing.
the best places in the world to
That's
ride.
like the death of a scene almost, though,
oh
right?
my God, it was the last time I rode there, actually.
Especially somewhere that has brutal winters and the indoor park gets taken
you need
away.
it. You need the park. It's insane. But it brought so many people together. That's one of
Yeah.
the things I realized after. I was like, damn, like we should have to start planning sessions at other places, because we always knew like Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, Sunday mornings. That's where there's a session. There
You'll
always
see
is.
everyone there.
Yeah, there's gonna be riders, and now it's gonna be weird going back home. I mean, it's summer when I get back home, so that'll be sick. But yeah, even next winter, I'm already kind of plotting. Like, all right, we'll see what I'm doing then, because
Didn't you? I read something that you basically started riding at Rye Airfield, correct?
yep, that was my dad just started bringing me there when I was like, I'd say 12 or 13 years old.
Crazy. And how old are you now? So Rye Airfield was
25.
around for how long? So it was around for.
I was talking to Bo. He said about 20, 21 years.
Damn.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
a good run. That's a good
They
run for
definitely
any
do.
business.
Yeah. Wow. That's.
Let alone an indoor skate
I
park.
did see that it was gone, but it didn't really resonate. How you know it's so hard when it's like
It's crazy growing up there too.
so important to a scene. You know, like so.
But even
damn.
seeing like Brian Hunt and Clint Reynolds and Aaron Smith and all these riders, you'd go there, they're always there. And to me, I was a little kid, so watching them ride, that's when Rye was huge. Like it was like Dave Muir went there and Mike Spinner did like, I think the world's first 3 triple whip, or I don't even know, 720 double whip. It was something crazy. But there was always this insane level of riding there. So when I would go there, it's like, dude, learn every trick you can. And looking back, I'm like, thank God for this place, because I don't know what I would have done without it. I probably wouldn't be into BMX like I am if Rye didn't exist.
Yeah.
And my dad would just like pack the van full of me and my friends. He had like a huge Rye Airfield sticker on the side. And looking back at it now, I'm like, dude, we probably look so funny driving through like the downtown Woburn where I grew up. It was like an old handicap van they converted into like this little travel bus. And he put a couch in the back, and we thought it was the sickest. It was. But as you get to like 16, 17, 18 years old, you're probably like, dude, we probably look so goofy.
Yeah. You're like, is this sketchy? I don't know.
Yeah. But it was sick. I mean, it made us all into the riders we are. And
That's cool.
all my best friends are bike riders. So definitely.
It almost seems like everybody like you, like big time pros or whatever have that, you know, you need that. Like we talked about that on the Brandon podcast, how he was just like a product of his environment. Like Rye Airfield, man, if you're seeing all those guys, Brian Hunt, Clint, and you're motivated, you have every type of ramp to get good there.
Yeah, and the ramps were big too. When I first started going, it wasn't like little street sections. It was huge box jumps, like hitching posts, and just.
That's what's crazy about you. You're known
ramps.
as like being the street assassin, but you can come to my ramps, and all the transition in my house is pretty big.
Ramp's insane.
It's big, you know,
It's
like
the scariest ramp in San Diego.
But he gets
I
there and
love
rides
wooden
it like
ramps,
most like he does not look like he's just a street rider at all. He gets there. Yeah, right. No, I'm not kidding. He was like pumping the quarters. He knows how to air out of like 11 foot's like nothing. It's probably from.
I like wooden ramps the most, actually.
You could tell, yeah.
Yeah, definitely sink in, pop out a little bit. It's funny, Garrett said that in an old video, and me and my friend like Zach Traft and all this, we would say that so much. We're like, yo, wooden ramps are the best. You sink in and pop out.
Yeah,
that's interesting. It's like a suspension built into the ramp type.
It's
thing.
a different kind of
especially when ramps kind of get soggy when they're like weathered a bit.
Yeah.
Especially we have wooden parks back home that are outdoor, and like they get pretty beat up. But some of them they're so beat up, and you ride them so much, you kind of figure out how to pop off them and stuff. But it makes the parks out here, the beautiful cement parks, it makes them so easy to ride. And like I hear some people like, oh, that park sucks, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like I have prefab parks back home. Those are my outdoor parks. But
yeah, right now you've just been riding that kind of like DIY park.
Yeah, that's Hadley. It's like 10 minutes, not even 5 minutes from my house. And
through Instagram, it seems like it's your new local park. For the most part.
But Dave Baczynski, the skateboarder, he's out of Lowell, and he's done a bunch of like GoFundMe's and stuff to just build like ledges or build an A-frame, build a quarter pipe. And it started out as this little prefab park with no ramp bigger than 4 feet tall, and now it's just like street section, like little spine box section, a bunch of little stuff, and you can ride there for hours and still find new stuff to do.
Is it okay with the city, or is it straight up like?
Yeah, they're cool with it.
Oh, that's awesome.
They give them permits to build. They bring in like a cement truck and stuff, and even me, I'm like, dude, I have to do something for the park. But he does so much. I'm like, I help him when I can, and like I see him here and there. But some things I'm like, we need to start building more. Like, yeah, I think of all the stuff that we could build, but
just keep going with it.
Yeah,
it's an amazing little park, but it's a lot different than Rye Airfield.
Yeah, big time. But you know what's cool? Riding, all the ramps there are still pretty small. I mean, nothing's bigger than 5.5 feet.
Mm-hmm.
But you ride that stuff so much, you learn how to pop off like little transitions. And like my normal flare when I go ride a skate park is a 3-foot quarter pipe. So when I come out here and I ride like a big 7-foot quarter, if I flare it, I'm going to land on the flat bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But it helps when you're riding street and you find like a little ditch that has a lip on it. It's like, dude, I ride this stuff all day anyways. I guess we can film a flare on this. Or even just hop trucks and stuff like that. Your whole session is like popping as much as you can. You're not just floating off big quarters and stuff. So I think it's actually benefited my riding, which is cool. So yeah.
When you're home, do you sometimes feel like, because you don't work a normal job, do you?
I help my dad here and there, and then not really, just kind of riding right now. It's
yeah,
cool.
So you're a professional bike rider getting paid to ride, and just sometimes when you're at home, you're like, man, being in Southern California or Austin or wherever would be so easy to just like link up with filmers and make stuff.
It's been on my mind for so long, so to actually be out here now is pretty cool. And like,
wait, so are you moving?
No, right now I'm kind of scoping it out too, because
it's in there. It's bouncing around a little bit.
Feeling out areas and stuff for sure. Because before I was like, I'd live anywhere in California, but then you come here and you're in Hollywood, and you're like,
yeah,
I did not know this was Hollywood, but yeah.
All of a sudden you're in Bakersfield, and you're like, wait a second.
What's going on here?
I thought this was Malibu.
But it's
is there a preferred area? Do you have like an area that you've been?
Laguna Beach.
Laguna.
Oh, but nice. It's so expensive over there.
Yeah.
Someone big would have to happen for me to end up there.
There's no like parks really over there, is there?
No, but I honestly like that.
He's down to drive, you know? Like, it seems like you're always like down to meet up for the session, even if you're 2 hours away.
You're kind of in the middle of everything. Like, you can drive to LA or San Diego, and you're away from everything enough. It's like, if you want a day off, a couple of days off, like, you're not around at all. So you don't feel like, oh, I need to go ride. Because I'll get a text, like, yo, we're riding here. And I'm like, gas is $4.50 a gallon. I have to drive an hour. I'm chilling today. Like, I'm kind of sore. But it's cool.
And
it's like a retreat.
If people ever start working back in offices, like, traffic becomes a real thing in Southern California.
Traffic is insane.
Because Laguna is like actually on an island in a sense too.
Yeah.
With the traffic,
it's hard to get out of.
When you see every road on the Google Maps is a red, you're like, oh wow, I can't go anywhere.
Guess I'm chilling.
I feel like you do a great job about being back home on the Northeast, and you get really motivated. You come on trips and just destroy it, and then you get home and you kind of just embrace your riding and get really dialed, and then go back on another trip and kill it. Like that seems kind of healthy too. I like when people do that.
It's fun too, because you go on a trip and it's like almost vacation too. You're like, all right, I've been home for 2 months, 3 months, so when I actually go on a trip, it's like a filmer, photographer, other riders. Like, let's get this shit. And everyone else kind of has the same mentality too. So it's fun. I like it. It
And
works.
when you're here, it's almost like you're on a trip and you go home. There's people from out of town here to hang out with you. It's almost like you're on a constant crazy BMX wave.
And like back home, I ride with my friends, and like the level of riding is there. Like my friend Michael shreds, Trevor, everyone shreds.
So you have motivation.
Yeah, like you can try shit with each other, but then you come out here and people are just, it's you, it's Garrett, it's Chad, it's like the best of the best riders. So it's insane to go just have a session and you're riding with these riders, because everyone's chill run is something you wouldn't even see back home. And it's cool. It's different, but I really like it. And even going back home, like I'm actually excited to ride with my friends because we just have the best sessions. But it's been crazy just being out here and seeing people ride and like, damn, so this is what sessions look like. It's 10 dudes, like Corey Walsh, Chris Fox, you, like Kevin Peraza, all these dudes just meet up at a park. It's insane. It's really cool.
Yeah, you forget that
It's a little
sometimes.
daunting.
Yeah, you do show up.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right.
Sometimes I'll hear the dudes that are going to be at a session. I'm like, say I'm coming back from an injury or just
Yeah.
getting home from a trip. I'm like, I'm good. I got to
Yeah.
just like I got to hit my old friends up and just get a good game of bike. Just do a fly out
My
session
point
or
of view
something.
is like, am I gonna be able to like get in there and just case the fuck out of this hip real quick?
Well, that's
You
a great
know?
thing too. Nobody
Yeah.
cares. There's no
Yeah,
judgment
it is
either.
nice. Yeah,
Like,
it is nice.
Yeah, everyone's just sessioning. But even Linda Vista the other day, everyone was riding the bull when I showed up. And I was like,
The big bowl.
not the full pipe, but just the big. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Chris Fox bowl. basically.
Exactly. Yeah. And exactly. Chris Fox.
by
was
the end of
riding
it, you were shredding it though.
But when I first got there, I was like, I dropped in, got so lost, and I was like, I'm gonna go ride everything else, and then came back to it. But you see everyone like airing 12 feet high, ripping around manual as fast as they can, and I was like, I haven't ridden a bull in too long, and my first run is not gonna be in this bull. That's for
Literally
sure.
nobody even rode that bowl. I'll put a clip in so people know the bowl we're talking about. But
Yeah.
literally nobody even rode that bowl
Gary
until
loved
those
it.
dudes moved down here. Gary would drop in.
Yeah.
But they Chris
That's a really
and,
good
and,
bowl, though.
and Corey
I like
and Matt literally only
is.
ride that bowl. They don't go to the other.
Yeah, I only rode it because when Jason and Corey were building the ramp,
Jason,
we would go there at night, and I was like, this is actually pretty fun riding this thing with you
Jason
guys.
was
It's
the
chill. You can
Jason
just
was the
session it.
original one on that bowl.
He was.
I would literally go there and be like, dude, and Skater would be like 4 days ago, there's this guy here. He's like Australian or something. He's
Yeah.
fucking killing it. I'm like,
Oh, it's
Jason.
it's
Yeah.
literally a spectacle to watch like Chris Fox do one run
Chris
in there. You're like,
Fox.
wow, I want to learn how to ride it because
Yeah.
it's just a square bowl and he's making it look like trails or something.
It's insane.
He
Yeah.
airs the deep end so high. It's just like, well, I'm not riding this anymore. It's insane.
Peraza had a clip from Linda Vista the other day, and in the back, he's
Yep.
like doing like upper rail 180 down whip.
That was
and
probably
in the
that
background,
day.
You can see Chris
You know
air
what's
the bowl like 10 feet out, and you're like,
I was there that session he did that, and it was. I don't ride with him enough, but I know he's good. Obviously, he does Kevin Peraza shit.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know he does tire rides. He's like, it's a pretty good up rail. Goes tires, switch whip right up it, just right casually. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I couldn't believe it.
Kevin is insane.
Insane.
One of the
He's-
most well-rounded, talented
He's
riders
such a good
there is.
rider.
And just seeing him like, because he's riding way more than it looks like, you know, like he
His
doesn't
riding
film.
is powerful right now. I feel like you can tell. Like, got to California, been filming, riding with like top dudes, and you can see his riding is just so on point. He's always been on point, but like even the Texas contest in Arlington, his riding was so powerful. Like he was just stomping everything with ease, and I was like,
He's been
wow.
working out with Chad too, so you can tell he's
That's
like
such a big part of it.
getting powerful.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
you're into fitness, taking care of yourself pretty well, right?
I try, yeah. Especially when I'm home. Like even this trip, I was like, I'm gonna stretch. I'm gonna do this. I haven't stretched once since I've been on this trip, but it's actually been great. It's like a break. I'm just like,
Yeah.
all right, just enjoy it. Even shaving, I haven't shaved at all. Just hit the mic, but
that's all good.
it's cool. I'm kind of just like living as simple as I can, and just doing whatever. But yeah, back home, I have a coach, and it's Skill of Strength Skill of Strength at the gym, and it's all UFC fighters and stuff, and the workouts they're doing are insane. And then he kind of studied BMX a bit and wrote up this workout plan for me, and it's been awesome. And even before that, I was working out, but I just try to do like functional mobility stuff, like fixing my posture, kind of just like doing more deadlift stuff, and it all just stuff to benefit riding. I don't go home and I'm like, I'm gonna work out and get the biggest chest and biggest arms. Like I don't care to do that. Anything to make me a better bike rider and a better athlete is kind of what's important. So
That's cool.
yeah, it's
Especially
fun.
for your style of riding, because you're definitely, I would consider you like a powerful rider.
Yeah,
Similar
Try
to
to be.
Brad, you know, like the
Yeah.
strength comes in
Brad. Yeah.
so heavy with your guys' riding.
yeah.
I want to circle back because I feel like Kevin is a park rider and a street rider, you know, and we're like,
He's a rider.
yeah, he's like
Exactly.
a rider,
He's a
but he's
rider.
like, you know, like I think from outward perspective, it's like Kevin is more like 60-40 or 70-30, like park street.
I can
And
see
I feel
that,
like,
but
I feel like
I think now that he
you-
moved here, he's 50-50 though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
you are like the other way. You know, I feel like you're 60-40, 70-30 street park.
It's like he's got transition park in his blood, but he's a street rider.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say when he got on my ramps. Like he just rolled in. I was like, most street riders here are like, whoa, God. Like,
holy shit, 35
some of the best street riders in the world. Yeah. And actually, Matt's like, he knows, go pump my tires up a little bit.
It's so funny. The second time I rode there, I was like, all right, I need more PSI.
Yeah.
But the first time it was cool just to kind of feel it out. It's not like I'm going there like, all right, I have to do this, this, and this. But second time going back, I was like, all right, get the 270. And even like when you and who were we riding with? Oh, Corey
that day.
You guys were gassing me up to do the 270, and like part of me was like, I know I can, but I was like, I really don't want to bust my ass in front of Dennis right now.
But from the spine to the verbal.
Yeah, but
me and Corey, while he's riding, we're like, it's so funny that he's scared of it because we know how talented he is. He's like, he's gonna do this, no problem. First try, he just blasted it huge. I was like,
it's crazy too. You guys are like spin slow so you don't clip your tire, and like even I did clip my tire a little bit on the first one, but I still knew like as soon as I went up, I was looking down. I was like, all right, you're good, but that's funny. You gotta spin really slow on that for sure.
But I feel like if you displayed the park stuff a little bit more, I feel like because you know like it just as Dennis said, like he's a BMX rider. You know, like I feel like you're a BMX rider in that sense, but like you kind of focus on the street stuff a lot. Yeah, I don't know if that's like a conscious thing or just kind of the video parts because I don't know. I mean, even
the Boston Massacre video, when we went into that, I was like, dude, let's film park and street. Let's just get everything into this video. Then we just obviously ended up filming all street. Yeah. But some of those things too, like park, I kind of put it in my head for a while that if you film park, you have to be doing whip bars and triple whips and all this stuff. But then I'm like, I still want to. I think we're doing a Portland trip at the end of this year. I was like, I just want to go like rip big quarter pipes and just ride good parks and just do the stuff that I would do having a session anyways, but obviously film it and make a good video out of it because people say that they're like, dude, ride park again. Because all my friends, they know I used to ride brakes. I used to try like 1080s and all this stuff.
Did you?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
On Resis.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I used to go to Woodward and just huck stuff, which was sick. So that's how you learn a lot of shit. But yeah, even still, I'm like, I need to put out a good park video. Or I don't need to. I want to. I want to showcase it.
No, I think that's cool. I think in a sense, like, I think it's cool when you can do everything, you know? And like, obviously, if you're doing a video part and you're doing sprinkling some park clips, like doing some Plaza-esque stuff doesn't fit.
You
but
can't
like,
do that.
yeah, some like, you know, some Portland or some Oregon parks, like in a video part.
It's really cool to see people like, oh, I didn't know he was a park rider like that. And I feel like him, like you're saying, if you put out some footage, you'd be like, the average kid does not know.
Yeah. But even you're really good at that. I mean, you always film park and street. It's like mixed, but it's like huge bull riding and then like heavy street riding. So it works well. Because like you said, it would be weird to go film like a Smith Knows whatever line in the streets. Then you pretty much do like an identical line in a plaza. Like it wouldn't really work. There has to be a balance.
What about, you talked about kind of the, you know, just the level of riding, but I feel like one thing that a lot of people don't think about when they come out here and they ride with a Garrett or a Chad and is what they film and what they don't film. Like the, you know, kind of the setup stuff and the trick selection for, you know, for like Dennis, like, oh, I'm going to put in this park clip and it fits. Yeah. You know, that type of thing. Has any of that been like a conscious, have you noticed any of that out here or is it?
It's definitely like,
I think it took a hit.
But I think out here, like you go back home, for example, like you ride street and you just pedal the whole city and everything's kind of around the city. But I feel like out here, it's like you drive to a school and it's like there's a perfect up rail, a big bank hip. Like it's a spot. The whole school is a spot. So I think I kind of like riding setups in general too. I like to like go somewhere and it's like, all right, what could I do here? You kind of have a trick in mind and you're like, holy shit, like this is the spot for that. And I think that's the funnest stuff to me. And especially, I mean, out here, there's every spot to do every trick. That's for sure. So I don't know if that's what you were asking.
No,
but
I don't really know what you were asking. Was it?
Well, just I
don't think he did either.
Like no, it's all good.
What he said was cool.
The wisdom, like the wisdom of watching. I feel like when you watch like the top 1% pros, you watch Chad do the craziest shit in my head, and it's not even worth filming.
Oh, you're saying is it different watching like the session compared to what you see
exactly
the guys do in the videos?
Yeah, like kind of the knowledge of like what to film and what not to film.
Yeah,
you know, because when you're that fucking good,
especially with Instagram everything nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
And for me back home, I don't have a filmer. I don't have a photographer. Like my friends will film me, but for the most part, like we're out and we have our phones. So for me, I'm just always posting stuff on Instagram. But then out here, it's like, oh, we're going filming, and you see dudes like out filming for a real project. And then they'll post on Instagram like just fuck around clips they got. And it's just like a little stuff they just did while they were warming up. And like I think that's the way to do it because then you're still getting the real edits done. You're still putting out parts, but you're still keeping your Instagram fresh. But back home I'll go 4 or 5 months where it's just Instagram clips. And I'm like, dude, posting so much shit on here. By the time I film and edit, like, you gotta up the bar.
Do you feel like you throttle it at all, or are your hardest shit when you're at home? I mean, it's just the hardest shit, I assume, right?
You do such a good job though, because I feel like you do your hardest shit on like little ramps or whatever. You're not like gonna go truck a big set.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually
I feel like
tech
that's
stuff
what I
that
noticed
do on
from you.
Instagram.
Yeah, you do like really hard like little ramp stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But
Super entertaining to watch.
nothing for nothing, it's the stuff that we're doing anyways. Like my buddy Michael, who I ride with the most back home, and like our sessions, we do so much random shit. And I'm like, dude, if we filmed all of this, we'd have a whole edit just today. But we just film like the one hard thing or the one new thing that we did. But
The double truck to ice chink could have been a really nice start to a park edit. That was insane. We got to
a
plug
recent one? I don't know.
at OB. He did double truck to ice chink, like the weird little steep 5-foot box in the back. It's like a hard little box to ride.
It's funny. Chris Fox was like, he saw me jumping it. He's like, you got the 3, and I was already kind of eyeing up like I knew it would work. And I did a 3 and got so boned out. I don't know why. Something happened.
That thing's kind of jacked sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
it's hit the coping
lip to
weird.
lip.
it's in the back bowl, the lip to lip. Yeah, like that
Yeah, like
connects
from
the two
bowl
bowls.
to bowl.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a nice little box, but it can send you weird.
yeah. And then Jason Lorenz was there. He's like, yo, you want me to film it? So I was like, yeah, sure. I did a truck, and the way I came around, I was kind of like, I always do this. If I pull hard on a truck, I like tweak my bike to slow down the spin. And I was coming around, I was like, oh shit, like an ice chink could work. And I hate calling out tricks. If I'm going to do something, I'll just be like, yeah, truck. Even though in my head I'm doing a truck to ice chink. Because I hate like calling something out and then I don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like doing that.
I get it.
He's like, yeah, I got you. I did like double truck and just tried to slap it and completely missed it. And everyone just freaked out. They're like, no way, you're not doing that. And like probably 5 or 6 tries later, I kept trying to and I just wasn't there. So one of them, I was like, I'm just going to go slow and try to go up. And that's exactly what I did. I did it and I thought I was in a case, but I was like, I'm just going to try to hit my peg anyways. And it worked perfectly in the clip.
It was sick.
But by then, like Matt Cordova had an ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Got,
was
like,
cool.
Everybody
Like,
perked up.
everyone,
Yeah.
It was cool.
It was good. It was one I went back on later and was like, I gotta watch that again.
I know. I saw your
see
comment.
that.
I was like, hell yeah, that's sick. That's
Yeah,
cool.
my Instagram regiment didn't allow me to see that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what's
dude.
hard when you run 5 Instagrams. You're not gonna
Exactly.
see everything, are you?
What I lost my train of thought there. I had it, and then your joke took me.
This coffee is strong. I will
Yeah,
say that.
It is good.
Tweaking out, man.
I'm getting
Traction
juiced.
coffee. You drink a cup, you gotta go ride,
Yeah.
dig something, podcast.
Covered
Yeah,
that.
well, East Coast versus West Coast. What are the main differences? Now that you've been out here for almost 8 weeks.
That's a good one because there's like differences in riding and then lifestyle.
Mhm.
So riding, obviously, it's tough now because back home we have some really good parks. There's like some amazing cement parks getting built. So we're fortunate with that. But coming out here, the riding, there's more riders, 100%. There's more shit happening, 100%. And they're just in the industry. I feel like the photographers, filmers, everything's here. And there's a lot happening. But back home, there's amazing trails. There's really good trail scene. There's all different trails dudes that'll go ride. And then I feel like back home is kind of cliquey too, because there's the 90 East dudes, and they only ride on Sundays, which is cool. I mean, they have their whole lives going on, so you can ride with them on Sundays if you want, but
Where do they ride?
just mostly around the city. They'll kind of go. They have spots that you didn't know existed. It's pretty insane. Like they hunt stuff down.
That's cool.
But yeah, the main difference is I would say the spots. Just back home you pedal to stuff, and out here it's just setups everywhere. But people always
Schools.
ask like, which would you prefer? And like I love California, but I think I'd always just be. I'm East Coast for sure. I love
That's
it.
cool.
But again, I would spend a few years here, like happily, and maybe at that point, if I was here that long, I could convert. But right now, like I just love back home. I love hiking and shit. I love the weather. I love the seasons. And even out here having the dog, it's been tough. There's like not many places for her to go to the bathroom and stuff. So like she's gotten sick a few times and stuff. But back home, there's just grass everywhere, the woods. It's like, I don't know. Kind of being out here made me appreciate back home a little more. Although I love it. It's like vacation being here. Everything's perfect. The weather's perfect.
But there's a lot of
beach.
people packed into a little
That's
area.
the thing. There's just so many people, and it's pretty expensive. She's
Dogs-
clawing it. She hears me
dogs
talking
wrestling
about her.
in
She's
there.
like, "What'd you
Right.
say about me?" But yeah, I mean, I love both for sure. And for riding, I'd probably pick out here just because the riders to ride with, and you can just get a lot done. But being back home, just if I didn't ride BMX, I'd probably just want to stay home. I really like it there. So,
Understandable.
yeah, if that answers the question.
No, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's cool being a sponsored rider like you because you have good sponsors that if you're
Yeah,
like, I
do
want to go
whatever.
to California for a few weeks, I'm sure they'd love you to go get some footage.
But
work
also
on
saying
stuff.
East Coast, I know Florida is technically the East Coast, and that does not count. I love Florida. I'll go there because Shout and Subrosa are out of there, but
It's definitely its
the
own
heat
coast.
and yeah, I couldn't do it. Even the amount of lights you have to sit at. I know this sounds so dumb, but every time you pull up to a red light, You can pretty much put it in park, get out, stretch and stuff. You're there for 5 minutes every red light.
That's so funny.
It's insane.
They got a light problem in Florida, huh?
It's insane. It blows my mind. I'm like,
I never noticed that, but I've never been to Florida that much either.
I know that's such a random thing, but like just that it drives me nuts.
Got stuck at too many lights. He's like, fuck this place. I'm out of here.
People from Mass are called massholes, so I'm probably just one of them. I'm probably just this impatient dude who's. I'm not though. I drive. I'm chill. I don't really rush anywhere. I'm just taking my time. But yeah, that's the one thing. Florida, 2 red lights in, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to leave. I'm over it.
And you've been to Florida like a million times because of Shadow.
Yeah. So many times, yeah. It's cool. I mean, it's a fun place.
I did look up flights for Swamp Fest today.
I know. That's sick. That's happening.
It's happening?
Yeah, October 30th.
Nice.
I'll head down to
Shout
that
out Swamp Fest. It's going to be sick.
Yeah.
I know.
I was like, fuck, should I just buy my ticket now?
I heard Trey talking about it too. And I was actually surprised not surprised when he posted it, but he was saying like so many people are trying to make it happen, like hitting him up like, yo, you doing it? You doing it? You doing it?
It's going to happen. Everything's opening back up.
He's like, I'm going to do it. But he's like, this is almost going to be like I don't know if he's still thinking like this, but it's almost like a pre-Swamp Fest for the next one.
Oh, yeah.
It is a cool
That's a good mindset.
Yeah.
Because back home, everyone gets psyched for Swamp Fest because it's the end of winter, or it's coming out of winter. So it's kind of like a road trip, go to Florida, and then it's this huge jam to start off the year. And this one, October, I mean, it's kind of the end of summer. So I think he was saying, do this one, and then I think that's why he was kind of like, do I do it at the end of this year? Because then the next one's going to be early next year. But yeah. I'm not sure his exact plan.
It had to be hard, too, because I saw him post those photos of the ramps. Like, he put all that effort in, and then like, he's like, this is what Florida does to wood, and it was like the ramps were basically destroyed in like 6 months time span.
I think Trey's coming out here. He actually hit me up. Be awesome to do a podcast with him because he could talk about all that stuff.
Yeah, he hit me.
He'll fill us in real soon.
So I think it was soon. Yeah. So
it's funny. I've like known Trey for a while, but I feel like just the past few trips I've actually like got to know him. He's for a while I almost thought he didn't like me because we were definitely pretty opposite. Like I'm a clean cut dude, and then he's like this Florida swamp dude, which is sick.
He has no shoes on. He has no shoes on. You're wearing Jordan 5s.
Yeah, but it's one of those things too. And like he was probably picky with who he likes, and that's fine. I mean, he's a pretty popular dude, but even just hearing him talk about things on the past few trips and like just hearing the way he jokes around about stuff, like I've grown to like him a lot. And like he's a pretty hardworking dude. He does a lot for BMX, and like I'm just realizing that now. Like hanging out with him more, it's cool. I'm like, this dude is on it. He does a lot. So I was gonna say it'd be cool to get him on the podcast.
Does he ride for Shadow and Subrosa too? Yeah, he's on both too. So you guys are like full on teammates.
Yeah, exactly. So we've done a few trips together now and stuff, and it's sick. He shreds for sure.
Let's go back to that because when I first became a fan of you, it was all Shadow Subrosa videos. They started blowing you up, bringing you out to Arizona and. You did like a skeleton crew video that was like skeleton crew video, which was like the flow team of, was it Shadow or Subrosa? Subrosa, but it was like one of the best edits of the year.
AZ Heat. Is that was it the AZ Heat?
Oh man,
was that a different one?
It was like way back. It was,
way back.
Filmed with
way
Bobby.
back.
Okay.
And
But you just were after that. You just started hammering out Subrosa Shadow videos. It was like
they really like supported me to start filming and get me places, but. It's funny how it started. I worked at local BMX in Burlington. It was my first job and still kind of my only legit job, which is sick. But Johnny Reve took over as manager, and he knew Ronnie Bonaire pretty well. And he's like, dude, you got to start rocking Shout Out Subrosa. Like, this dude he's legit. And, like, I know he'd be psyched on you. So, like, after a bit going back and forth, I'd ride any parts. Like, I got hooked up by Volume because Chris Long lived, like, a town over from me. And shout out to him and Maddie. They kind of took care of me for a while. And then I was riding that for a bit, and then I had like a fit setup that I got through the shop, which was cool. Like they kind of flowed me some stuff, and then I had like fit parts on a volume frame, and then started throwing Shadow parts on. And I was still young. I was just kind of playing around with stuff, and then turned into like all Shadow parts. And ended up with your frame actually. I was riding your frame for a while, just because I was like, you're my favorite rider. So I was like,
wow,
right, the Dennis frame.
I had that in there. I said, is Dennis your favorite rider?
Wow,
that's so
thank
funny.
you.
Yeah, for sure. But I came out here and filmed with Josh Clemens and did like a Vital video riding that frame. And then came back and Johnny was still on me like, dude, you should rock a Subrosa, like be full factory. And like at the time I was like, the team's sick. And then they ended up doing a trip to the Northeast, and it was called the Park Party Tour. And it was like LaShawn, Wong, Kyle, and Ryan Scher, and like got to meet them. And I was such a quiet kid back then. Like I still am like kind of quiet, but I'm just a mellow dude. But back then I was like so quiet, and these were pros.
And those are like rock star pros too. That team is
crazy,
so
and they were loose.
They were crazy.
Yeah.
But me and Johnny showed up to all the stops because he was slowly kind of working as the Shadow and Subrosa like sales rep of New England. So we went to all those. I got to meet them, and they were so cool. Like psyched on me. LaShawn was the homie immediately, and Ryan was cool. He was like, dude, yeah, if you ever need stuff, like hit me up. And sure enough, after that, I kind of sent him an email. I paid for my first set of stuff like through the shop. I had a credit, so I could pay it off each paycheck. Like got a frame, and I already had all shadow parts, so that was that. And then I met Bobby on that trip too. Actually, that's where I was going with it. I was like, what am I saying? But yeah, I met Bobby, and he's like, dude, come out to Arizona. Let's film a video. Booked a flight, went out there, and that's the Skeleton Crew video that we filmed. And it was such a crazy week. That was my first time really filming with like a legit filmer, and like
So that was like your first legit edit.
Yeah, first
Wow.
time to really just like, dude.
Damn,
just
so I've
film
seen
all.
everything from the beginning because
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if there was like an era of Matt Ray before Subrosa Shadow. So that was
There was, but it was more just like back home riding with friends and filming little.
You
shit
hadn't
here
gone
and there.
like filmed edits yet.
1080s on Resi.
Exactly. I was
Yeah.
like a Resi kid, I guess. But yeah, film that with him, and even still, we'll talk about it. We're like, dude, remember that week you came here and we just had the most insane, not even just like the riding, just hanging out and partying and stuff. And like, it was insane. It was so fun. Like, really experienced like a BMX trip and met all the Arizona dudes, and they're all like just so welcoming and showed me all the parks and like bought beers for me. And this kid Brains, actually, at the end of that video, I don't know if you remember that dude. He's like, we drinking 40s, boy.
Oh yeah.
He kept stealing 40s from stores. He just put them in his pants and would just show up.
I always thought that clip was so random. I was like, who is this guy?
It was like the banger of the video. I was trying
Yeah.
to 5-bar down like this weird 4-block thing, and it was taking me forever. Like having just a mental battle, just like it's right there, but it wasn't working. And he was like, "Fuck this, I'm out." And he's like, I knew he was going to get a 40, and he's like rolling up. I can see him because we had lights on the spot, and I'm just sitting up on top of it, and I see him rolling up, and I was like, "Dude, land this shit right now, so you guys can have a night." And like, sure enough, just like hucked it, gave it everything. Landed it. Everyone freaked out, and that's why, like, at the end of the video, I was like, "We drinking 40s, boy." 'Cause he like comes up to me, he's like pouring it on me and stuff. But
I think that was the first 5 truck ever done to not grass. I think Stevie did one to grass before you.
I always thought Garrett, because people would say that, but
I don't
every
remember
time
Garrett
people are like,
doing
"Well,
one."
Matt, you did this trick like a world's first, or you were the first to do this." I'm always just like, "No, Garrett probably did it somewhere. Never filmed it or anything."
Shit, I think I
Never
remember
know
that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I know Stevie did one to grass, and when I seen that, I was like, wow, I think that was the first legit 5 truck ever done to cement.
Grass doesn't count.
Steve.
It does. It's just,
I know.
it's on that borderline of like, does Resi count on box? Like, yeah, it sure does, but
We were joking
you
the
do it
other day.
legit to wood. You do it legit to cement.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy Pablo will just drink Coors Light and stuff after like the end of the day, end of the session, and we were joking the other night. We're like, "Dude, you should film a whole video that you land on grass." But it's so insane that nobody could talk shit. Like the
Yeah.
level of the riding is just like anyone could say something. It's like, all right, go do it. Like do you know what I mean? Like just something. It would be hard.
Yeah.
but it would be cool.
We
to
always
just-
joke about the Australia rails. Like
Yeah.
They always
Australia
land in
always
grass.
has like
Yeah.
massive 30-stair
That's so
rails
funny you
that
say
just
that.
go into
You
grass.
go to
Yeah,
Australia and
like-
practice every rail trick and come home and
Yeah.
find the same rail here.
Yeah.
into
It's like, one,
asphalt.
why are the rails so big? 2, why do they always go in grass?
I don't know. I always
We
wondered
have
that.
no
Like,
other option.
Like,
Yeah.
And can they not find big rails that go into concrete?
I don't
Because
think
it seems
so.
like all of them
I
go
think
into
they all
grass.
go into grass,
So,
most of them.
Somebody, yeah.
The level of riding in Australia is impressive.
Oh my
I will
God.
say that.
Yeah,
They
it's
are
insane.
on one. I
They
love
breed a
it.
different
Slept
level.
on.
Yeah.
I had something
You
to
dropped
say.
out of high school, right?
Did you find that in an interview or something?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool actually. I was working at local BMX, and it was one of those things like just I would go to school, show up late every day because I would just ride my bike over there, and my grades were just slowly declining. And my dad was already paying for plane tickets to go to like the kitchen to ride a contest, or there was like recon tours and then Gatorade free flow tours at the time. And he would come with me to those, and he saw like what the pro riders were making, not what they were making, but he could see like, all right, these dudes make a good living off this sport. Like there are riders who are like established. That was like Mike Spinner and Dave Mira and those
Yeah.
type of dudes. So it was easy for me to be like, Dad, look at what's possible. Like, and took him a while, but he was finally like, all right, if you drop out, you get your GED like immediately. That's like no questions asked, get your GED. And it was one of those things like when he said that, I was like, oh shit, do I actually drop out? But it was one of those things I was like, I couldn't do it. I didn't like being in school. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't learning. And
There's no point at that point, you
but
know.
looking
Like, good
back
for
now,
you
I'm
to just.
so happy I did because
Yeah.
even friends who graduated and went to college, like they're still just figuring things out. And like
Yeah.
I'm like the amount of experience I've had, and like even with social media and BMX, you learn about marketing and you learn about all these other things. And like I'm like cultured, I guess is a
Yeah.
good way to put
Yeah.
it. Like I've been to so many different countries now, and I wouldn't have changed a thing.
Yeah.
Like for a little bit, my mom was like
What are
not
you doing?
psyched,
Yeah.
but overall, she's like, yeah, you did your thing. And still, I mean, if I wanted to go back to school,
You got your GED. That's the same thing as if you would have graduated,
exactly,
which
it's
is
like
the funny
high
part.
school equivalent. So.
It's the same thing.
Were you a senior at that point, or what?
11th grade. so
11th
it was-
grade. Oh, okay. So you did bounce pretty.
Got to take a year
kinda
off.
early, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Shout out to Dad for at least
risky one for sure.
Risky, but like he could see the writing on the wall in that sense. Like, hey, he may not even like
even still too like. Like if I wanted to go be a lawyer or something, like I'd go back to college. But right now, that's not. I don't have the intentions of doing that. So I
feel like sometimes stuff falls into place a lot of the times, and especially the college. I mean,
people go to college just thinking like, all right, I'll get this high-paying job. But it's like, I think if you use college like to get your doctorate or your lawyer degree or whatever, then it's good. But I don't know about like a business degree or anything. You can kind of
you can do that. You can do a lot without.
I'm not saying
a
anything's bad about that.
Yeah, everyone's different. Everyone has different mindsets and doing the college thing, but. In your case of just skipping that last year of high school when there was no point for you to be there anyways.
Oh,
I would have been flunking out anyways.
Smart move. I wish I would have known that route. I have nightmares of getting up for high school.
I used to watch you and Garrett, the road to, or
5 months to freedom.
5 months to freedom. Dude, that was cool.
Yeah, I remember that. They were like following us around with cameras in high school.
That must have been a cool experience though.
Kinda. It was more weird because I was just like, not really.
On you.
Yeah, I was like, they're like, Dennis, why is a guy following you around with a camera all day?
Before that, I mean, all your friends and people in school must have known, like, damn, this kid who I'm in school is sponsored by Nike 6.0.
Yeah, some people did. I tried to keep it pretty low key.
Yeah.
Like you were famous, dog.
Hell no. I would go to Europe for a weekend in like 11th grade or whatever, and just like go to Germany on like a Wednesday, go all weekend, party with all these amazing friends that I shouldn't have been old enough to party with, And I come home, dude, I had to go to school on Tuesday, and my friends would be like, "Where were you?" I'm like, had some family shit going on.
Just like a blur.
Yeah, I was like, why am I going to school? This is crazy, but
it's cool.
That's so funny all worked out.
Yeah. One other thing, I don't know if it's embarrassing or not, but was Simple Session the first time you went overseas?
I went to Aruba, like on vacation.
Okay.
But yeah, for a contest. Yeah, Simple
and
Session.
Then fucking Fathead punked you, basically.
Dude, it's so funny.
I just thought about that randomly.
And it's so funny because someone commented on the post
on
RBMX Day and said, "Are you going to roar?" And for so long, I was like, dude, what do people mean about this shit? I don't get this. And I realized one day, it hit me. I was like, his name's Fathead?
Fathead, yeah.
I was
Alex
like, this
Spartan.
motherfucker was like, yo, we're doing like a giveaway or some shit. Like, whoever can roar or something. I was like... Yeah. Sure, but it's funny like watching it. I look like a baby in the clip.
You're
it's
like,
so crazy.
What do you do?
No, so
he did to a bunch of people.
Right? Yeah. So Fathead went around to a Simple Session and like was just joking around and just being Fathead, like a personality. And he finds, the
innocent young kids.
Yeah, starry-eyed Matt Ray at his first
to me,
foreign contest.
I think it's some like news agency or something who's at the con. I don't know anyone. I don't know shit. I'm like, dude, I'm at Simple Session. Like scared to drop in for practice type of thing. So
and he goes like. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm here because it was like a sponsor of the event. So he's like, we're here for
I think he gave me
Tiger
like a
Bar
Cliff Bar or some shit.
Tiger Bar,
that's it,
something like that. And it was like, and he's like,
should insert that
clip.
Clip.
We want to give you
I want to see it.
A trip to anywhere in the world, like type thing, and just like got him all psyched up. And he was like, yeah, can you roar into the microphone?
Oh my god!
He did it to a bunch of people though, so that makes me feel better. I wasn't the only one, but
dude, I'd try it. Trip to anywhere in the world.
I didn't even think.
Yeah, I can roar.
He even said he's like, yo, louder or something like that.
We've been watching you ride. Lion Bar have given us the opportunity to hook up one rider after the Simple Session to go on a road trip for a week. Are you down with that?
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah? Road trip with Lion Bar, man. 1 week around the Baltic area, the colder areas of Europe.
Really?
So yeah, chill and cruise with the Lion Bar guys.
Hell yeah.
Are you roaring for it?
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. It's like,
roaring, yeah.
I live in the US though.
Yeah, it's alright, we'll hook you up, yeah. But you're roaring on that.
I'm Matt.
Yeah, but you're roaring for the Lion Bar.
Yeah, it is. I mean, nuts.
Cool. What's your name?
I'm Matt.
Matt.
Right?
Cheers, Matt. Take care, bro. Yeah. Lion Bar BMX team next. I just made it up. LOL.
Looking back, I'm like, hey, he got me. But
it's great.
It's funny because the European and like UK dudes, I feel like they're like, not like tough dudes, but like some of them, before I met them, I feel like they would bring that up.
Yeah.
And like Lacey, me and him, we didn't have a problem or anything, but I think he tried to like hold that over me, like, yo, you got punked or something. And part of me was like, am I supposed to be embarrassed about this or something? I don't get it. Like,
no,
I thought
that's
it
the
was
thing.
funny,
You just
but-
gotta own it. You're like, yeah, I was a little fucking kid. I didn't know
Exactly.
any
Like,
difference.
it's pretty innocent.
But that's the
Okay.
thing.
It's a good joke. Like,
yeah,
I
it's
wouldn't know. If you
hilarious.
didn't know
he
the
got
guy,
me.
it's fucking
That's
hilarious.
funny. So I'm like, I'm not gonna be pissed about it.
It's funny because the first time I watched it, I didn't know who you were at that point, and then like at some
funny
point,
little
it,
kid
like,
roaring as
little
loud as he
white
can.
kid.
yeah, so it like came in, but
Yeah, it's cool.
yeah, it's funny. Like you get a random. It's funny how stuff like that sticks with people.
People
you
still
know,
remember it.
like because it's like
insane.
Because you turned into somebody. If you were just like somebody that kind of went to an event or two, and then
Yeah, who were the other people that roared?
I don't
Don't
know.
remember.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
Same
no one
point.
else did.
That's
Maybe
the
I
point.
tell myself other people
You were
did.
the
Just
only
like,
one.
no, I'm not the only one, dude. Like, yeah, I don't know.
A bunch of other people did it.
Yeah. It was a video though. They were just doing random. Maybe there's other pranks to other people in the main
Oh yeah,
video.
no,
I think
the
that's
whole
what
video,
it was.
the whole video is totally satirical and just talking.
Yeah,
shit
that guy was funny. I liked all the fathead
Oh, yeah.
stuff, his
I-
little news
he's-
channel and stuff.
I literally went to a
What is his name?
Alex Barton.
What does he do? Is he just like?
He is an amazing.
He's
He has
probably fucked this
well,
kid for
he's
asking
literally
this,
amazing bike rider,
Mm-hmm.
but he literally has like one of the best bunny hop whips in BMX. Like
To pedals
rivals,
type of thing?
yeah, rivals D Hart. Like it really does.
I love
have
that
a-
D Hart
yeah.
is like everyone because as soon as you're like,
Yeah.
as soon as you said rivals, it's like yeah, D Hart.
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna say that.
And it's like, and he was just a funny motherfucker. Like he is just
Definitely a personality.
he stayed at my house for a week in Long Beach, and dude, it just fucking nonstop laughs.
That's
he's
cool.
he's just a fucking personality.
That's what I do
you
love
know?
about BMX. There's so many personalities, and
Yeah.
you experience so much. Like you're not phased by much once you're in BMX for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You realize people just say so much crazy
He used to make fun
shit.
of like
It's
Adam
awesome.
LZ and Adam 22 and Harry Main, like
Yeah.
do all their voices and just like put out all these videos. He was just fully just jokester. So
He was the dude. He was on Adam LZ, huh?
yeah, he was super.
Now that I
on.
think about it, he
Yeah.
like ate Adam LZ alive, but
Yeah,
Adam LZ does not care. So
yeah. Adam LZ is eating very well,
Yeah.
so I don't think he cares. So
he's killing it
Yeah.
for sure.
Let's talk about the shoes.
dog drama.
Yeah,
Dog
so can we
drama?
hear them in the?
No, it's fine.
Eh.
No, it's
Okay.
fine.
Little
He barks
bit.
he barks every episode basically.
But
Shoes.
you just told me the news about the shoes. That's pretty cool.
Dude, sick. Yeah, I'm psyched. So I've always just ridden in Jordans and stuff, and I kind of ride in Vans and Jordans.
Yeah.
But I always bought Jordans because they last, and just like normally I would wear Jordans. I think they're fresh. Like I've kind of grew up wearing Air Forces and Jordans and stuff. But Sam Burrows he works for Shout on Subrosa. He hit up Pova about maybe flowing some guys from just the team, and I think he picked me and Bajarki, and kind of talked to Pova, and then he finally sent over Pova's info. And he's like, "Yo, hit him up." He said he's down to flow you. So last week hit up Pova, talked to him a bit, sent him an order, and he was cool. He's like, "Dude, let's do it." So he sent some product. I sent it back home because I thought I was leaving sooner, and I don't want to pack my truck full of shoes because I was like, God forbid, like someone breaks into the back of my truck and steals them. But yeah, he sent some shoes back home and some gear, which I'm so psyched on. I think it's cool.
I don't think he said Etnies one time, but
Etnies?
It's Etnies.
Oh.
yeah.
Well, I think saying Pova, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, people
exactly.
know
I
Etnies.
know
we
exact-
we talked about this before the podcast started.
Pova
so
is
no problem.
Etnies.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, for people that
really
don't
good
know,
team
it's
manager over
Etnies.
at Etnies. So
Yeah, Pova hooked me up some Etnies, and I'm psyched on it. And we actually got to meet the other day at Volcom Park because I've never met him before. Maybe I've seen him somewhere at a contest, but it's hectic. You don't really talk to people or you do, but everyone's on their own agenda and shit. But got to meet him, hang out a bit, and he was so cool. Like I've never actually like had FaceTime with him, and he kind of reminded me of like someone from like Boston back home. Just says shit, and he says some pretty funny shit just right off the
yeah,
bat.
he's cool. Pretty
Yeah.
uncensored.
Yeah.
It's cool.
One
So
of my favorite people.
yeah, I'm
Congrats
psyched on
though.
that.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Pova.
You could save
Nice
a
of
couple
him.
bucks not riding the Jordans in
Yeah,
anymore.
and they make cool shoes. When I went on the website, I was like, wow, like they make some sick shit. Even I got a pair of Brandon Seminuk Pros, the mountain bike shoes, because I was just in Santa Cruz riding mountain bikes with David Lieb, and just his whole crew. And right when I get home, I'm like, I'm getting a mountain bike for sure. So when I saw those shoes, I was like, I'll throw them on the order. And then I saw him at Volcom Park. I was like, yo, not sure if you sent those shoes or not. And he's like, yo, if it was on the order, you got them. So I'm like, this is going to be sick because now I have
Nice.
a nice pair of mountain bike shoes.
Oh yeah.
So
Nice.
Are
then it works
Are
out.
the mountain bike shoes any different than BMX shoes? I don't know.
I think they're way more stiff.
They're like a little boot.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like Nike 6.0s.
Bulletproof shoes.
About some of those Nike 6.0s were about like
Some
boots.
dunks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt actually rode for 6.0 Flow, right?
Yep,
Oh,
those
did he?
used to hook me up.
That's
It was
cool.
more SB at the time when I was getting it. So he would send me just SB dunks. And it's crazy. Some of the shoes he sent me, I would
Shout out to Mark Alosi.
Yeah. Sorry.
BB.
Dog drama.
Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah,
Everything's gonna be knocked over in there when we
I
get
know,
done with
right?
this.
He used to send me shoes, and I would just ride them and destroy them because they're fresh. They're sick shoes. And it's crazy looking back now at the price tag on some of these shoes. they're like $800, $900 shoes, and I'm like just looking at clips, and I had
The SBs?
I had the Gucci SBs. He sent me 2 pairs of them. I'm like, you idiot, Matt! You should have kept a pair just to like have, but
That's crazy.
it's crazy. Yeah, just destroyed them.
So
back
are you
then.
an actual like sneakerhead type dude?
No, by no means. I just
Because I don't know anything about like the
Yeah.
Jordans and stuff.
I guess you could say 'cause my girlfriend and stuff just gives me shit all the time about having way too many shoes. But in my eyes, I'm like, I just have them. I don't like wear them all. I'm not like posting them. I'm not fucking drooling over them.
Yeah.
I just like having certain shoes for certain occasions. But yeah, I don't have like $3,000 shoes or anything.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Is it like, are the Jordans that you ride in, are they like expensive? I don't.
a couple $100, but they
Couple
last
$100,
a few months and stuff.
Yeah.
But Etnies. So
Yeah.
you're rocking
But I
Etnies
mean,
now.
but I mean, like that's going forward. But
It's
it,
cool
you know,
talking
like,
to you right now
it's
because you haven't
definitely,
even you're
like,
getting on, but you haven't fully switched.
Mhm.
Like,
And I feel like if I check the comments on that post, there's probably a lot of questions about the shoes because
On
I
the
feel
Instagram
like
thing?
yeah,
Yep.
I'm
For
fairly
sure.
certain. So is it like,
I wrote in them
are they
because
good to ride in? Like I
Yeah.
assume so.
100%. Like Jordan 1s are my favorite shoes, and like they made the 1 lows just recently. They used to be like high top shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Now they made them just normal like low tops, just like the size of a Vans shoe. But they just last so long, and like they're easy to clean because they're kind of like leathery.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they're made out of, but they clean easy and they last a while. So when you're paying for shoes, it's kind of what you're looking for, and they're fresh. I like wearing Jordans, so
Cool.
but yeah.
who would have known Michael Jordan did not know he was going to make a good BMX shoe?
Yeah.
Shout out to
Who
Nigel.
who was it?
He's getting paid by them.
Oh, Nigel.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah,
he's still
that wasn't. Oh, go ahead.
Nigel still on Nike? Is that what you say? Shout out
I think
Nigel,
so.
or is not,
Yeah.
he just got you like?
No, I'm just saying
noticed-
shout out to Nigel. Like he's rocking Nikes.
Yeah,
They're Nike Jordans, like the Nike Jordan 1s.
Yeah.
that Nigel's rocking
Because
right
he
now?
has like
That's
a
what he
colorway or
rides in.
something.
I was gonna say
too,
he has
for
like
what-
signature ones and
Yeah.
signature Air
Damn.
Forces
Yeah.
and stuff. So he's killing it for sure.
That's dope.
That was that's
What?
bring
What?
that
What?
up.
What?
What?
You are a fan of Nigel and kind of what he does in general, and I feel like that was one I actually texted Nigel and asked him if he wanted to do the podcast.
That'd be cool.
Because he wanted to do
Nigel's a good
he
dude.
wanted to do Feeble Talk
Mhm.
back in the day, and he didn't respond to my text.
I was gonna say, did you text him like, are you too big now to do a BMX podcast? Or are
Well,
you still down?
I mean, he knows I've had his back pretty much the entire time. Like, obviously, I may have like questioned 1 or 2 things over the years,
Understandably
but, like,
so.
But I've always had his back and what he represents for BMX and him being an outside public figure and portraying BMX in a good light.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a fan of Nigel. But yeah, he didn't respond to the text. So
Yeah.
maybe you could text him.
But you text him about being on Unclicked too?
Yeah, and he didn't respond. So
Hit him up.
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
But-
awesome.
But again, back to that question, I'm definitely a fan, and I do see a lot of people hate on him,
Yeah.
which I get. Sometimes it's like he'll claim like he'll say stuff that sometimes.
But I know exactly what you're talking about. Like your favorite rider's favorite rider. But
Yeah, it's like I'm the new Dave Mirror or something. That whole
I don't know if he
thing.
said that, but
There was something
there
about
was.
that.
He said, "See, this is. I know so much about this."
All right.
Fuck. He literally said. He said picking up where Dave Mirra left off,
That's exactly
and
what it
that's
was.
exactly what goes to. Not that you could ever be Dave Mirra, of course, but that he was
push the sport, maybe?
trying to bring BMX to a public limelight
Yeah.
to into households that didn't. That wouldn't be exposed to it otherwise,
Definitely.
and that's what he meant by picking up where Mirra left off. No, he could never be Dave Mirra.
But like those Go videos,
Yeah.
the
Those are
amount of
huge.
views those have, and the amount of people that watch them that would have never watched
Yeah.
a BMX edit,
Yeah.
is insane. Like
Like,
that's so crazy.
Imagine,
And it goes, and if you type in Nigel's name on YouTube, it goes all of his dope video parts,
Yeah.
like the animal part, like his shit that was just like groundbreaking.
core shit.
I
And
was
when
gonna
he,
say,
when
he
he
used to do the hardest shit. too.
yeah,
Smith
and then he
hard
got to a
bars and all that
point where
stuff.
he was just like, okay, and then it's all his Go videos. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you look this guy up, and it's like you can't say he ain't killing it.
Yeah, this
you
is.
know.
I mean, this is definitely a wider conversation and stuff that I would love to talk to Nigel about.
Yeah.
But street riding specifically has a problem with not progressing. So if you because
not progressing in what
in,
sense?
So what do
in
you
the
mean
sense
by that?
as a rider, so Nigel can do a Smith bar or a crook up rail bar, and at a point, and now he doesn't necessarily do that anymore, but he can do a half cab bar or like whip out of a grind or whatever else he wants to do, and because he can't put out a cutting edge video part anymore, and because he can't put out do the things that he used to do, he's not fucking cool anymore.
I think that's why a lot of people do
But-
hate on him.
Exactly,
It's 'cause he's
but
not putting out-
Chris Doyle can do a fucking turn down, and everybody's hyped.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Well,
it's
that's
like,
the thing. That's what I think is great about Nigel. He realized he
doesn't
wasn't
need
going to
to.
one up himself anymore, so he moved to different projects.
Yeah.
But if you're going to move to different projects and do different things, you're not supposed to say that you're picking up where Dave Mirra left off. But maybe he means in the sense of being a badass, in the sense of like taking BMX to the outside view.
That's
He's
the
probably
way
that's
I
what-
took it.
yeah.
That's the way I took it. Is in the
every encounter I've had with Nigel, he's just a great dude.
I ran into him at
He's
the
so
shop one
fucking
time.
cool. So if anyone talks shit on him, I'm like, you don't even know him.
Yeah, I think they just don't. I just think there's like a core mentality that like it doesn't
Of
allow
course.
you
And
to
at the end of the day, there's
understand
going to be
what he's getting
dudes who
at.
just hate on him.
You're gonna read
regardless.
crazy
Yeah.
quotes and see this guy making millions of dollars while you're out there busting your ass, getting your first little ass check. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's just it's hard to understand.
I saw him at the shop one time. I was there. I don't know what I was fixing a flat or something. He walked in. It was crazy. Like I've seen all his shit. I literally didn't know what to say. I was like, oh my God, it's Nigel. And like, even the way he carries himself, I was like, this dude's like a rapper or something. It was crazy. I don't know why. And it was,
Yeah.
it wasn't
his
dressed crazy or
confidence
anything.
and his
was
energy's
crazy.
amazing.
And he did a Gatorade contest years back, and it was a video contest, and I entered it. I ended up winning, and they sent me like 25 cases of Gatorade. And I thought back to it after. I was like, dude, you should have told him about that because he picked you.
I had something to say to Nigel.
I didn't even know what to say.
You didn't say anything.
I said what up,
Oh,
but like
okay.
probably sounded like a weirdo.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Nigel?
I was probably like, yo, you're Nigel. I don't even know. I
Yeah.
probably said the dumbest thing ever. But
Did you roar?
yeah, exactly. I roared at him. I was like, yo, Nigel, you want to hear this? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. I mean, it's good that you recognize the idea behind what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, like
It's cool.
I just
It's cool you asked that too, because it is kind of something too. Like you always not wonder, but when he's brought up, it's cool to hear what people think about him. So
yeah.
it's
I mean,
cool you
because
asked that.
I think
Yeah.
from my point of view about you, I think I consider you to be an incredibly progressive rider and doing stuff, you know, a la the 540 bar and stuff like that other people are not able to do. And it's like Nigel was that at a point. He did stuff
Definitely.
like that, and it's like but we can't celebrate him because he's not doing that anymore.
If you look
I
at
think
how
it's
many
like- I
Dude,
think
we
you
should
should
fucking
put
embrace.
out,
We should embrace dudes that that did
He's
anything.
brought it to the next
ever.
level. Like,
Celebrate
yeah.
the shit that he did.
Like-
you know,
And if
So-
you look at all his old Gatorade videos and stuff, like he was just he's been producing for
Yeah.
years. It's
Yeah.
insane. Like there's so many, even his old G-Shock stuff. Like there's
Yeah.
so much shit that he's just put out. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
He's been on it.
Yeah.
Just
That's-
nonstop.
So shout out to Nigel. Respond to my fucking text.
We
now.
spent 10 minutes talking about you, so now you text him back.
Yeah, right.
Nice,
Exactly.
yeah, hell
so
yeah.
plump him up.
How was it going on trips with Mike Spinner? Was he cool or?
Spinner was really cool.
I'm leaving this in already.
Yeah, go for it. I like Spinner. Spinner would be, and we're still friends to this day. You know, he was just different. Like going on the road, and like me and Garrett and Nigel were really like, we're gonna make a video part. This is our first try at this. Like,
I
it
think
was
all
really,
you guys were tight, and then it was like, I don't know if you guys were tight with Spinner too, but it
We
seemed like he
were.
was just, yeah.
we were. Spinner was just a goofball. Like, I'd be filming all day, so tired, and Spinner wasn't filming because he didn't give a shit really. He was like just focusing on whooping ass at dew tours, and that's what he was doing. You know, like
Collecting a ballpark check.
yeah, he was killing it in his own way. You know, he just wasn't like, his mindset wasn't where ours was, like filming all day, busting our ass, and he loosened like the pepper jar on the pizza, and I'm like, fuck yeah, pizza, I'm so hungry, and I go thunk, and just like he's just like I'm like, I'm gonna kill you, Spinner. That was actually the one time I blew up at Spinner, you know, but like throughout all our trips, he was always cool. He's
That's cool to hear that he's
funny.
cool. I
Yeah,
don't
he's
know.
cool. He's funny, and he's smart.
Yep.
Spinner's fucking smart. Like he had like 2 amazing years in BMX, took
Yeah.
that and started a really, really
It's
wealthy
EVO.
company. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's funny.
I saw.
so
I mean, him and I
I'm
never,
cool with
I
Spinner
never
for
felt like
sure.
I had a problem with him. And then
Yeah.
after he was done with BMX, then he like when he went on that like Twitter rant for a little while,
I
he was like,
didn't see any.
Twitter.
he literally
Twitter rants.
Yeah.
talked about how it was a conspiracy that if I would get paid extra if I shot photos of people and put them in the magazine, and something like that. Like it was like so weird. It was so weird that I was like, I can't even.
Might bring it back to
I can't
that
even, like,
that,
rationalize
that
that.
bubble that
Yeah.
Moeller was talking about when you're just in your little BMX house bubble. You know, it's probably
Yeah.
like him and a
In
few
the
other
couch.
dudes that lived with each other there, and they were just like, you know what, my photos never get shown up at the
Yeah.
dude tour. You know, it's
Yeah.
fucking fudger.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
Hearing Mueller
obviously
talk
not
about
true.
that and talk
Yeah.
about Long Beach, I was laughing. That was good. That was funny hearing him say that.
Fun fact: Spinner was the first person to ask. He's like, "Oh, so do you like ride BMX?" Like to me,
Ask you?
yeah.
Like,
It's
are you a
happened-
BMX
it's hap-
rider?
Yeah, like and I'm like, no, I just like just fucking shoot photos of this for 15 years for.
I just have a room in my house filled with BMX posters.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
But it was like
I'm
we were in a
super
car
fan.
ride or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
super
like,
fans are cool though that don't ride that are that involved in industries,
Mhm.
but Fudger's definitely not one of those.
Yep.
You guys was I had a poster of you on my wall.
That's fine.
you did.
The Dirt Brothers
Oh
poster
shit.
with all the OG,
Oh yeah.
OG SD
Those,
boys.
AKA the toughest posters that were ever made because
They lasted
they
forever.
literally lasted forever. It was like
Nice
it was
paper
like
and shit.
it was like it was like a cardboard box.
I think like
poster.
90%
Yeah.
of kids in San Diego had one on their wall too.
That's
sick.
funny.
Yeah.
It wasn't a poster of me. It was a poster of several other people.
Chris Myers,
And
Gary Young.
Sympathy. They put me on there as well. So
Yeah.
he had a poster of Gary Young.
No, it was
and
everyone.
then
It was a whole
me-
team.
And then me.
I'm missing a couple people.
Yeah.
I know. It was
Vic
Vic,
Murphy.
Vic, Gary, Chris, and me. Yeah.
Sick.
Cool.
All right,
Um,
back to Matt
I
Ray.
was
What
on
the
a
hell are
poster,
we talking
sick.
about? Yeah, you are.
Your favorite rider? It's favorite rider, everybody. Me.
Yep.
Ryan Rudger.
Fine, Roger.
So let's talk about what kind of you got some cool news.
This episode is so loose.
Let's talk about you do have some really cool news, and it's kind of what brought you on this road trip
Oh,
in the
yeah.
beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, so I haven't posted anything about it, but I know we've talked about it and stuff, and I just told you
Mhm.
before this, but yeah, me and my girl are expecting, so I'm going to be having a baby in
Congratulations.
August.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Down
Not-
psych. That's cool.
Not too far off, really. August, summer baby.
The baby's due on my birthday, too, which
Wow.
is bizarre.
What's your birthday?
August 20th.
20th. I'm 16th. So,
Oh, no way.
Nice. Might be on your birthday.
Maybe.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But it's crazy to think either I'll be 25 when I have the baby or I'll be 26. Like,
Yeah.
It's like hit or miss. I think it'll be 25 because I feel like babies usually come like a little early. From what I read, I could be totally wrong, but
I think the first one is usually late.
hey,
As a
we'll
guy
see.
who only has one, that's
Yeah.
all I know.
Cool. Yeah, but yeah,
But
kind
it's
of
pretty crazy that you're on
trip.
this trip, and most dudes are like hooked to their girl's hip when they're pregnant, and you guys are doing this pretty cool
Yeah.
thing of just like, let's just fucking
Mhm.
have some fun and then have the baby.
Yeah, it's cool. She got to do the road trip out here. That's like the biggest road trip she's ever done, and because she wanted to announce it and like take cool photos, so we stopped out in the desert, like in canyons and stuff, and just shot some pretty cool photos. Like I was psyched. I was like, yeah, I'm a photographer, but like cool photos. And she got to announce it, and I haven't yet, just because I was like, oh, I don't really post much personal stuff on my Instagram to begin with, and it's like, oh, how do I come up with a caption, this and that, but also I don't like care to. I was just like, I'll post it one day when I care to.
Yeah.
And she's not pressuring me to.
That's
or
good.
anything
Yeah,
weird.
that's good.
So it was one of those things. And then when you texted me about this, I was like, honestly, that's the best time to announce it. I think that'd be so cool. And it's like memorable. I'll look back and be like, yeah, that time you're on Unclicked and just announce
that's
to the
awesome,
world
man.
you're having a
Yeah,
baby.
it's awesome. You use your Instagram as like your straight up riding platform,
It's
and then you
not
got
like
to
I'm
come on
posting
here
selfies
and
and,
just
shit on there. It's
Yeah.
like I just post riding.
Yeah.
And then to throw a baby on there, like I'm sure you'll see my baby on there. but-
Yeah. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
It's a life change. Dennis is about to experience it soon, but
Yeah, we're on a
it
similar
is a
path of
life
having babies.
changing
For sure.
experience, and
Yeah.
just think of the thing you love the most, so your dog or your girlfriend, and no offense to them, but then times it by like 5 or 10.
That's what everyone says.
And it's like,
crazy.
and it's
Sounds pretty
insane.
cool.
It's an
Yeah.
insane feeling.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts. You got to see my little creation there.
Yeah.
For when you guys first walked in.
you gave me
it's-
nuts.
Yeah, it's insane.
he's cool.
Like, yeah, and
Yeah.
they become smarter. They become sentient beings eventually.
Crazy
and
when
it's
I
like,
first found out too, when she told me, it was definitely like, it was actually right after the California trip. I got home and like saw her and stuff, and then she like, oh, I got your present, and something was like, oh, what the hell? What is
Yeah.
this? Opened it, and she's gonna laugh at this. It was a Carhartt beanie. And I was like, oh, sick. Like, I like this. But it was a baby beanie. I didn't realize it. At the time, it was tiny. And now, like, looking back, I'm like, what the hell? Then lift it, and it's like the pregnancy test and like the little shoes and stuff. And I was like,
Dang.
whoa, like caught me off guard with this. And like, it took me a few days to process it for sure. And then once the time had passed, I was like, all right, I gotta tell my parents. Like, I didn't want to tell them so soon because it was so new. I was like, I want to wait till their first appointment and everything. And then once I told my family and like my parents found out, and my friends, like having everyone's support, that's when I'm like, wow, this is actually gonna be really cool. Like, this is gonna be huge. I can already feel it bringing my family together more too.
That's awesome.
Which is, yeah. And my sister just had a daughter in June, like right during COVID.
Oh, perfect. Cousins.
Yeah, like
Gonna be
she's so
little-
excited.
Really
She's
close in age.
Like, yeah, it'll be cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
How does it feel with like being a professional rider and traveling so much? Is it gonna change things? Is it gonna motivate you think? Like, what's your feelings going into that?
I'm sure like right when we have the baby, it'll be like hectic.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, she's so supportive anyways. And she's like, I don't want this to slow you down with riding or anything. I'm like, it's not going to. Like, I think it'll be good. It'll kind of give me a reason to want to do well at contests and stuff. Because right now, obviously, I want to do well because there's a prize purse at X Games type of thing. But like now, like there's a real why. like I have a baby back home, and it's too like I want to inspire her.
Yeah,
babies learn best by action. I don't want to be sitting here like, oh, if I teach her this and do this, I'm like, I'd rather
just do you.
Yeah, I don't want her to like grow up. I'm having a girl. I don't want her to grow up and see me change my whole lifestyle just to accommodate a baby. I want her to like just see me working even harder on myself to provide, because I think that's the best way to inspire them and teach them. So,
Totally. That's what, when I told Pat Casey the news of me having a child, he was like, just
He
keep doing
inspires
you.
me,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was like,
going to his house was unreal.
he just says, keep doing you, and the kids get to watch you, and I'm like, that's cool. Like,
yeah,
It's kind of what
you always think of being a parent is like, oh, do I change? Like, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And he's like, nah, dude, just
yeah.
do you and inspire that way.
It's
Exactly.
it's like with the dog when you you got the dog as a puppy and then you went on the road, and it's like, and now the dog's super comfortable and
Yeah.
wherever you take him, and it's like
I've said that a few times.
it's
I'm like,
like-
dude, I think the dog kind of warmed me up.
it is
So, like,
100%.
It's responsibility. It's kind of like you gotta not discipline the animal, but like it's a dog. You can't really compare a dog to a baby, but you can, because
And the dog also trains you.
Yeah,
in a sense.
exactly.
You know,
It's like
like
the
you're
dog
like, oh,
needs
I have a schedule. I need to do something for something else for once.
and
you
even like
know?
she has so much energy. So like going into it, I was like, if I'm getting a dog that requires like you need to burn her energy, you need to get her out, but also it helps me because like I bring her on hikes, I bring her for walks and shit. It gets me out. Like I'm out hiking, and now I love hiking. Like that's one thing about back home too. We have the White Mountains up in New Hampshire, and there's like 48 of them or something. It's like the 4,000 footers, and I'm already so stoked. I'm like, I'm pretty sure her name's Alana. That's what we're set on right now.
Nice.
So I'm like, dude, she's gonna be hiking. I'm gonna learn how to surf. I'll bring her surfing, snowboarding, everything, not but BMX, but all these other things I've never like done all that much my whole life. Like I get to explore this stuff now, so that'd be
That's
cool.
I can see the excitement. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Congrats.
Put a lot of thought into it this trip. A lot
Yeah.
of alone time
Yeah.
out here.
Yeah, I'm
so
sure.
That's kind of a cool thing to do before going into this huge adventure together,
Yeah.
is like just some alone time.
Yeah, exactly. Because I miss my girlfriend a ton, but at the same time, I'm like, just this alone time is something I'll always look back at in my life and just appreciate it. Like I've been reading books at the beach. I got Being a Dad book, just to like, even though it's kind of put more anxiety into
Oh,
me
yeah,
than
I'm
anything.
sure.
Yeah,
but,
those
like,
books are kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I never read one.
But I
but-
think it's better not to.
Yeah. That's
I
cool,
got one
just-
like to help my girlfriend out, that kind. I think that helps. But the one like, you're gonna be a dad, it's like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
I don't want to read this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep them alive.
That's cool. But then you talk to your friends and
With
stuff
love.
that have babies, and like some of my friends are just insane people, and they raise a fucking child. So I'm like,
Oh,
pretty,
yeah,
like, I'm
dude.
a pretty stable dude. I'm like responsible. I think I'll be okay.
You
I
got your
know I'll
head
be
on
okay.
straight.
Yeah.
There's wild people who have kids and they're like,
Exactly.
they are doing it. I
Yeah.
got this.
Literally, I've told my wife before. I say the billions of people have done this before.
Yeah.
You know, like I think we
And it's-
got it.
Everyone who has a kid, the way they speak about their child, you can just feel it in them.
It's
like
like
the best
magical,
thing
huh?
to ever happen to them. And I'm like,
How's
we'll see
having a
how
kid?
this
They're like,
goes.
they take a deep
Yeah.
breath. They're like,
They're like,
it's the best
This is the
thing
best
ever.
thing that's ever happened. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Even my friend Stephen Cole, he just had a son. I texted him. I was like, dude, so how is it? Like 4 or 5 days after they got back from the hospital. He's like, dude, I'll protect this baby. And like the way he said it, I was like, dude, he loves this child so much. Like you would never hear him say that
Yeah,
about anything
yeah.
else. It was cool.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely can change like a crazy party animal maniac into like, I'm a dad. This is
Yeah.
my 100% going into this. You're like, what? Like,
I'm excited
last
to bring
year
her
you were a
everywhere. I'm
psycho.
like, it'll be cool.
yeah, it's awesome.
What So you're driving back home pretty much directly after this, correct? Or are you taking
think-
Getting a
while?
burrito and getting the fuck out of here.
Get my
I'm just
last
waiting to do this
burrito.
podcast.
Yeah. I think tomorrow morning I'll drive up to Utah. My little brother Trevor is up in Park City, so go spend some time out there, hang out with him, and then I'm just gonna make a big zigzag across, go to Denver, hang out with dude Mike from Traction,
Okay.
him and Jason
Awesome.
Lorenz, probably do some riding, hang out there for a bit, and yeah, no rush to get home, just enjoy it.
Okay,
really,
cool.
spend some
Just
time on
gotta
the
get there
road.
before the baby.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
no
get
rush.
there.
It's having a baby. Soon.
Sounds like your girl's pretty chill.
She is so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I lucked out with
Yeah.
her. Her family's awesome, so I'm psyched.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I feel like the move to Southern California will be a little bit harder because of the family aspect.
Yeah, and that's
because
the thing.
because
like,
the support system is pretty key for having a kid. So
But it's cool. Like me and her already kind of like agreed. Like the baby's important. Like our relationship is we're boyfriend girlfriend. I'm
Yeah.
25. She's 24. Like we're still young, but at the end of the day, like the baby is important now, and like she's cool. So I think I lucked out with her because she puts up with a lot of shit. So,
That's
but no, I think I'm pretty easy to be with. Just the traveling is the one thing.
yeah, travel's hard. Travel's
Yeah.
hard.
But it's also really healthy. You know, when I see these relationships where the dude and the chick never travel except for together, and you're like, That's insane to be with someone 100% of your life all the
It
time.
gives you time to
Like,
miss each other when
a
you go
little
on trips and
traveling's
stuff.
good.
It's
a little
awesome.
traveling apart once in a while. You
Definitely.
relationship
You need
advice
to.
out here. I'm
Well,
not one to take relationship advice
yeah.
from.
I'm thinking. I'm like, yeah. Do I talk because
Chime in
like
on this,
my
or-
He's
my
had
wife,
a
well,
long-term
'cause-
relationship.
Yeah, because
so.
my wife, we both work from home, and so we work at home. We're at home all the time. COVID has me home more.
Yeah.
So in the last year and a half than I have ever been home.
Do you guys hate each
And-
other, or are you good?
No, we like each other. It's just
Depends which day of the week.
no, it's just it's a different. It's you have your kind of expected schedule, and then it switches up, and you're like, wow, it's kind of like Groundhog Day a bit, and
Yeah.
you really do have to step outside of that routine and keep the surprises happening, but because of everything being closed and all this shit, it's just a fucking weird time.
Yeah,
You
everyone,
know?
everyone
It's-
has to deal with that.
Everybody
right
has
now.
stressors. Everybody,
I said
so-
this to you the other day. It's crazy we're having COVID babies.
Yeah.
It's like the baby boom, but now
Oh, yeah.
it's like, yep, we had a COVID
It's gonna
baby.
be they're literally it's gonna be like it's gonna be the COVID generation. Like
Telling this baby when she grows up, she's
Yeah.
like, so a pandemic happened and
Yeah.
we created you.
Dog's back.
Yep.
But
Hey,
Fudger was
lay
bringing up competitiveness, and I wanted to kind of state that, like, I didn't really know you going in. I still just kind of met you, but even riding, like,
Yeah.
X Games with you and stuff, there's way more competitive people than him. It's funny. He just gets out there and, like, handles business.
A lot of
but
people think I'm like a jock or
I,
something. It's
yeah,
funny.
I've heard people kind of snicker things like that or whatever, and I'm like, dude, you don't throw the fist up. You just get your run done.
Yeah.
You're like, give me my
I
fucking
kind of
check.
go to a contest with the mindset of like, well, you can make some extra cash, and it's like, if I'm at the contest already, like I'm there. I might as well try to do my best, and I don't know. It's kind of fun being strategic too. It's like playing a game, you're competing with everyone else. It's like, all right, who's on it? Who's gonna come up with the best run? It's
Yeah.
like, it's fun.
And actually land it, because in practice it gets intimidating. We're like, oh shit, my
Yeah,
run,
practice
my
you
run
can
does
be
not
like,
compare
this
to
dude
what,
won. Like you can just sit and then say
and
the
that guy gets
contest
8th place.
He blows it, but it doesn't
It
go.
happens a lot of
doesn't go
times.
well, and yeah, but it's fun. I like
what
it.
so when you did the first X Games, right? Because you like X Games. What was the first one?
2016, I think, in Austin or something.
You came in and you were like phenom,
Really?
they were kind of playing you up. I believe.
I honestly think that ruined it for me because
Yeah.
I was so nervous and like watching Garrett and stuff ride. Like to me, it's Garrett and like Chad. Like in practice, I'm pretty much just watching them. Then the contest came and like even looking back, I had 2 tricks planned to start the run. After that, I had nothing. And like thinking about that now, I'm like, dude,
That's
why didn't you just
crazy.
think of all this other shit? But like, if I had gone to that contest and just blocked out everything and just done a bunch of random tricks, I probably would have done so much better. But it was just like the pressure, and so many people were like, dude, you can win right now. And I'm like,
I got
stop.
2 tricks lined up.
Yeah, like, dude, stop saying the shit. Just let me ride, dude.
So
But
you ended up getting like what place?
I don't even remember. Probably close to last.
Yeah, I think it was 11th.
Something.
This is the,
I don't know how many people were in it.
This is the reason why I know this, because I did some like researcher role stuff, and I interviewed you for X Games. Like,
Okay.
2019, I think, because it was. the
Oh,
first
coming
year.
into the next-
Yeah, so I think. Well, I think I did. I think I interviewed you, or I wrote something about you. Maybe.
I think you did because I remember you
Yeah.
hitting me up or something.
So, X Games definitely was pumping you up for that, and then you got like 11th place, and then they didn't invite you back.
Yeah, it was a
several
few years.
Yeah.
But the contests were crazy because it was like Dew Tour and stuff. So I was like, there were still other events to go to, and even those I didn't really do well.
Mm-hmm.
But they were so crazy. Like it was just such big ramps and stuff, and I was still pretty young. So
Oh,
it
you're
was
talking
like,
about before X Games and stuff?
well, that X Games 2016 happened, and then there was like Dew Tour Chicago. I want to
Street
say
style one.
exactly.
Oh, is that still in 2016?
But I went
Yeah.
there and like I didn't like know, but I think it all worked out well. Even though there's no contest right now. Well, maybe there could be next teams, but it was kind of like it made me realize like, dude, you can't just go here and like just fuck around and not have a plan. So
Take
it
it
kind of
serious.
yeah. And then coming into 2019, I think I started with simple session, like that year of X Games when I got silver. It was like simple session. I was like, all right, see how well you can do. Like get invited to X Games is like the goal. Like get back into X Games, and went there and ended up getting second. So that was sick. And I did like road practice and just figured out a line kind of through the course. And then in the contest, I was like, all right, fill in the tricks. Like know what tricks you're going to do where. And it's worked out since. I mean,
That's cool.
yeah, it's fun.
So that was only your second X Games.
Mhm.
That's a trip. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
It sucks too because 2020, obviously COVID ruined everything. So I'm not like bummed by any means because it's a lot more dramatic for other people than me just like, oh, I missed contest. But going into 2020, I was like, dude, X Games is gonna be so sick this year. And then when it got canceled, I was like, no way. But kind of felt it. You knew it was coming.
Yeah, you knew it was
everything
coming at
was
that point.
closing down.
One thing I did notice when I watched the USL Game of Bikes stuff, I was like, Matt got frustrated. Because you were like, because I felt like it was like, maybe it was stuff that you knew you could do or something. And that's what I was like, because I'd never seen you get frustrated.
The same tricks so many times, just over and over. And like, I was like, I don't even know what else to do at this point. But
yeah.
But
it was
also
kind of like a game of barspin, basically.
And it was one of those things, like, Brock is so sick. I think he's like the sickest rider. But some of them, like, I think he would even agree, he wasn't happy with the way he pulled a trick. And part of me was like, it almost is like, does that count? Because, like, say I did a 180 bar, full cab bar, cab whip or something. It's like I did 180 bar, full cab bar. And again, I'm not taking any credit away from Brock because I'm a fan of him. I think he's sick. But even he would land something and it was just like, oh, like that. He wasn't psyched on it. And, like, again, it's like he would fakie, kind of correction hop a few times and then cab whip. And part of me is like, if I set the trick like that, you could do it like that. But it's like, but again, I don't take it that serious.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things like,
I felt like
doing
you're annoyed because
so
like
many.
you would get something clean and then whoever would get it super sketch and they'd still give it to him.
Pretty much. And
That is annoying.
Because they were calling you on correction hops and a couple other people,
But
but,
it was
but they
towards
weren't
the-
calling everybody on correction hops.
But it was towards the beginning, so I mean, that's kind of, I guess you're setting the rules then.
Yeah.
But
Oh, okay.
looking back, I was like, yo, Brandon Beacon was just trying to get at me, but whatever. He can do whatever he wants.
Just some East Coast stuff. Some
Because, like, now you were just saying, like, are you competitive, this and that?
yeah.
Like, nothing for nothing. I'm not talking shit on Beacon or anything. I don't have a problem with him necessarily, but I think he's the type of kid who looks at me like, oh, he trains for this sport. He's serious about it. He takes his health serious, and he's the complete opposite. And it's just, that's one of those things I think, oh, let me see. Like, he did a little correction out, let me call him out for it. Just try to get at him. Because I watched the video after, and that's like, kind of saw it like that. And other people were like, yo, does Brandon not, or does Beacon not like you? And I was like, I don't know, but maybe he just wanted to jab at me there.
I mean, in a sense, everything you do generally is perfect, though. Like it does seem like you know,
It's almost like humans against machine.
Exactly.
Like, the machine messed up.
I mean, I wrote that in the caption.
Yeah.
I just
bring
said,
it back to
like,
riding my local park. Everything's so small, so I'm just all day doing like stuff with no pop. Like it's all, you're generating your own pop. So then it's riding bigger ramps. It's like you're just dialed, I guess, from doing hop trucks and cab bars and cab whips off a little.
You're really
2 foot.
fast with things too. So
Yeah,
when you
it's
go in
like-
the air, you can like slow it down.
Yeah.
I think you have the I don't know what the right word is, the most effortless bar spin in BMX. Like I feel like the way I've commented on, I don't know if you've ever caught wind of me commenting on it, but it's like the way you're over top of the bike and there's no like push the bike out, throw the bars. It's like you're in the perfect position and then it just like happens, and it's like,
Well, thank you. Yeah.
it's
Sometimes
I
I do
agree.
too many bar spins.
well, it's like if I was
they're
behind,
fun. I like them.
if you're like behind somebody, you could tell that they threw the bars. You know, like their body position.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes I can't even tell if you threw the bars behind. You know, like it's such a interesting.
It's funny you say that too, because like in my eyes, when I ride park and people are doing whip bars and I was trying to learn all that stuff, I couldn't do like a tail up to bar spin in a weird position. I couldn't have my foot on the crank or like stuffed in the frame somewhere and
You
just
bar
throw
spin with your feet on the pedals.
Yeah, like a
think
normal person.
that's the
but-
difference.
yeah, but it's funny you say that because in my eyes, I'm like, I look for the perfect pop, but even the other day we were trying tooth bars and you were just flicking them and I was like, dude, I know I have time, but
and he had time to go bar, but he was scared.
I just like
was
hesitate. I hesitate
Me
sometimes.
and Corey were watching him. We're like, dude, it looks like his bike's made out of helium. Like you said, everything he does, just like even rolling in, you pop like a foot and a half for some reason. I was like,
Yeah,
what the hell was
it's
that?
fun.
Like, it
It's
just
funny.
looks so fun.
It's so
like,
funny you say that because I can envision his dropping.
It's just
like
like,
he really does.
Cool hearing
have
you
like
guys
that.
say this
Yeah,
because to me I'm just riding. But
I know you're just
yeah.
riding, and me and Corey are just like, whoa.
Hell
He's
yeah,
bunny
that's
on
cool.
a foot and a half to drop into the quarter for some reason. That was sick.
Hell yeah! Shout out to my home park. Bring it back to there.
That's what's up.
How you gotta ride
got
it.
an Amazing facility plus your talent, and that's how it happens.
Hell yeah!
Oh fuck! Why is my brain just mush today?
Those
Pussy.
shots you've been getting.
Yeah, right.
What is it?
He keeps
No,
getting.
but-
He's addicted to
got-
COVID shots.
Yeah,
He's
I got
4
like
now.
6 vaccines.
What do you mean?
he keeps going and getting the
Oh.
vaccine. No,
Are you guys both vaccinated or?
I am.
Yeah.
I got my
don't think
rabies vaccine.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
a few vaccines.
I haven't gotten it yet. I'm kind of waiting. I don't have anything against it necessarily, but I'm just not
That's
rushing
kind of
into it.
my thing. I've never gotten the flu shot. never really. Until this year, I got the flu shot. Like because when you have, that's another thing. When you have a kid and they start going to like daycare and shit,
That's
they're
one
little
thing I'm
fucking
like-
cesspools of
Yeah.
bacteria, and you get. And I'm
Yeah.
like, why? I've never been this sick.
I
in
need
my
to learn
entire
about
life.
vaccines and stuff more because even
Yeah.
I'm gonna be raising a daughter, and I know that's a normal thing to get vaccines and
Yeah.
shots and stuff. But I'm like, I want to know a little bit more about
Yeah.
what we're shooting
Look into
into
it.
this little baby.
I just think.
Do they
think,
just come out and they start shooting vaccines?
No, I don't think so. But you
It's
do
like-
when
Yeah.
definitely within the first year or so, you definitely
Wow.
get some vaccines and stuff like that. And it is kind of like you're like,
Dumb down the
yeah,
human.
you
real
think
quick.
you think about it in a sense, like, oh, this is crazy. It protects you for life against something. Like, what
Yeah.
is it? You know, like,
Yeah,
but
I don't have any knowledge
but
in that.
I'm
So
not-
it's like, I
Yeah,
don't
it's a
know.
weird one.
I'm not
but-
one of the people that that goes, I'm an expert. More
Or an
expert,
anti-vaxxer
yeah,
or
than somebody
anything,
else.
so-
So generally, I don't believe that there's like an ulterior motive to,
just because you're an
brainwash.
expert in BMX knowledge doesn't mean you're an expert in
Exactly.
vaccines.
Yes, exactly. So I went and got the fucking vaccine.
Yeah, everyone I know pretty much has it. Just
Yeah, I mean,
strange
it's like
times, for
in
sure.
reality, Battle of Hastings is supposed to happen, and I'm like,
Oh,
I
yeah, to
want,
travel
I
overseas.
want to go.
Do you have to get a vaccine to travel overseas?
I don't,
hope
not
not.
I
specifically
just
yet.
seen a bunch of people are in France. It's
Seems
like the
like
world
people
was
are
shut
doing
off
whatever.
last month, and now there's people in France. I
But
was
the
like,
I heard about the what they have to go through is you have your core group of dudes. You can't even leave or people, whatever, men and women. You can't even leave the hotel to get dinner. You have to. You're in total like IOC, whatever Olympic committee.
so this is an
lockdown.
Olympic special
Yeah,
thing.
you are
Okay.
100% locked down.
Crazy.
And it seems I was because we talked about like, oh, should we try and go? And it
Yeah.
was like, fuck no. I have no desire to go to that. One, not barely in general, anyways, and then two, with that stuff, like, no
Yeah.
way.
We're
So,
planning
Not
a
trying to be in the Olympics was the best decision
right?
ever.
Yeah.
Fucking
That'd be stressful.
genius.
Yeah,
My family
got
was
lucky.
planning a trip to Greece, and they were trying to do July, kind of like right before the baby. And it's one of those things like, well, you need to get vaccinated to go to Greece, and I was like, not doing it. Sorry,
yeah.
just it's too soon. I don't want to rush into this just for the freedom. I don't know. It's just I don't have a problem with it. Like anyone can get it. I don't care. I'm not gonna I'm not one of those
Yeah,
people like, oh,
yeah.
You
sheep,
just like a little
your
more
brain-
information on it before you do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Sounds
just
like-
wait and see kind of like how this thing
Yeah,
goes.
let it pan out. I mean, you're young.
See
You
if
don't have
Fletcher
any-
dies or not.
Exactly.
See what happens.
Yeah.
No.
I'll give
be
you.
doing a podcast.
I'll give
Yeah.
you the keys, and you can just continue the podcast.
All right.
I'll leave the cameras on the wall.
Nice.
I'm sure it's fine. I mean,
Give you Tom's number.
You're gonna be fine. Yeah.
yeah. No.
Yeah, fucking tangent and a half right there. Well, so, what projects you got going on? Well, let's talk about. Oh fuck, I got one.
All right, let's hear it.
You didn't fall one fucking time on the Boston Massacre.
We haven't talked at
it.
all about the Boston Massacre, and that's your only video part aside from Shadow and Subrosa stuff. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's like
So you didn't fall one time.
he says that, but I'm sure like I slipped pedals or like.
I think you
bailed.
didn't. Yeah.
he says that.
But I mean, like he's saying basically you didn't hit the ground. Like, of course you
Uh.
like stepped off and stuff like that. Like you didn't not. I'm
I
sure.
think
you,
it was just so relaxed that video. Like there was no pressure to film anything. It started
up
off,
rail triple bars,
Seems
biggest,
chill.
some of the biggest trucks ever done. And pretty
but that's
chill.
again. Andrew was at my house for 2 months, so it was like 2-3 days out of the week we would go stack, and then just kind of hang out the rest of the time. And like he would do his side projects that he's working on, and
That's a good formula.
it was so sick. Like looking
Yeah.
back at it, I'm like, this just like happened so organically.
That's the way
was
to do
just-
it.
Yeah, but it started out we were filming a bike check after X Games. Like my girl flew out to X Games and stayed for like 4 days after in Minneapolis, and he drove out there. So he was like, "Yo, I'll be out here," and that's right when I met him. He's like, "We should film some stuff while you're here," and I was like, "I mean, I gotta chill with my girlfriend a little bit 'cause she's here now, but we can film here and there," and that's what we did. He's like, "Yeah, we have enough for a bike check," so we filmed the bike check part, and then after I was like, "Yo, come out to Boston," and he came out like pretty soon after. Started filming more, and we had the whole bike check edited and everything. And then we were like, dude, let's just make a whole video. And it kind of is that what it turned into. And then filmed in Boston for a bit. Then we did Atlanta and New York City on a trip. Actually, right when I got Vivi, drove down to Atlanta with her, which was sick. But yeah, it was like 6 months of just filming with no like idea of what we're making.
Mm-hmm.
I had songs in mind, like that Bambi song.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I want something different than rap, but I want it to turn into like some fucking just hard music towards the end. That's what we did. And it's my favorite video I've ever made for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a dope video. It's funny because I log into like the back end of the YouTube and it's like there's just
That's the most views I've ever got.
yeah,
on anything, too. It's
comments
pretty
are
cool.
like they're like this is the 18th time I watch this video
That's
and
so
it's
cool.
still as good. You
Yeah.
know, like it gets
Andrew
comments all
killed
the
it.
time,
I'll give it to
so,
him.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
both
it
did.
was
He did his
Good
thing.
combination when you just hammer something out in 6 months like that. Like someone who's never made a video part, it's probably like 6 months. That's forever. But when you're working with someone from a different side of the country, 6 months is a good amount. Like that's
He lived in
fast.
New York City at the time, actually,
okay.
so it was a little easier. But yeah, made
But
it
still,
happen.
when you're not living in the same city with someone, you're not always traveling together. Like
I was
in
thinking, like,
6
if I had a
months,
full-time filmer back, not a full-time, but like some dude to always go film with back home, like I could get so much more done. And there is like Lee Hopkins back home, films Bone
more
Death. And
kids need to pick up a camera.
I know. I'm like, I need to get some of my friends psyched on it. And just hopefully they just. I want to find someone who just films. Like they can ride too, but like
Loves filming as much as you love riding.
so you're at a
That's the
spot and you
best.
don't feel guilty asking for a clip because it's like your friends can help film and stuff, but they want to ride too. I
Yeah.
don't want someone to stand there and film me for 3 hours.
Totally.
So
Yeah, I always think that with people. I'm like, dude, there's a lot of good filmers, but in every scene there's like still always a lack of good filmers too. So it's like if you want to be a part of jump in the van and be on BMX trips, like you can get pretty good at
'cause
filming.
you can
It would
self-film stuff, but it just doesn't.
Unless
It's
you're
not the
Dan
same.
Foley.
I say Dan Foley does
Foley
his thing.
His self-film videos are amazing.
Eric Elstrand put out a video recently. I think he filmed it all, and then I want to say Walter edited it.
Eric Selfstrand, is that what they called it? I
Oh,
think?
Self-Strand.
Yeah, that was good.
Whatever one they just put out.
Okay, yeah.
I think it was something like
The
that.
song,
Yeah.
I saved the song to a playlist and everything. I was like, it was so good. I was psyched.
He edited that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's good. He's one of those guys that's good at.
I don't know
Yeah,
him or
I-
anything,
he
but
sounds like it.
that video
great
is like
artist,
respect.
great bike rider,
Like,
great editor,
Yep.
like literally just good at everything.
that was a cool video. He made it fun. Like it
Yeah.
was fun to watch. It was cool.
Yeah, I know because he's edited a bunch of his own sections before. So
Cool.
I'm pretty
I
sure.
didn't know that.
yeah.
So yeah.
So and it's Self-Strand. Jesus Christ, great,
Yeah.
great title.
All around.
You know, was there? What was going on with the banger of
Yeah.
Boston Massacre? Because it was the big truck.
Yeah.
But
so
you
I
did it twice.
filmed the truck, and it was. I only did it once the first time, and he got his angles and stuff, and I kept watching it. I was like, dude, like he killed it with angles, but it just didn't do it justice.
Mm-hmm.
But this is once I got home, and he's in New York, which the banger was in Brooklyn, and I was back in Boston. And like, I was like, dude, you are pretty close. We could just do it again to get like just another angle on it. And then COVID happened, and I was like, dude, I'm not going to New York City right now. Like that's a joke. And then as things kind of played out, I was like, it's probably not that bad to go there. And sure enough, we went there. There's people out exercising, just wearing masks, and just people are out doing their thing. And went back, warmed up, started jumping it. Even just straight jumping was so crazy. There's people going everywhere, and it's kind of windy because it's right on the water.
It's like a bike path too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a pretty nice area. I think it's all like brand new, but it's big too. Just to pedal at it, it's
Hell
so
yeah.
blind. You know it's far. And then jumped it a few times. I was like, all right, let's get it. Did a truck, and it was one of those things I was like, had in mind. I was like, you could double truck it, which is like what we went back for. That was like the goal was to get the double truck. I did like 5 trucks, and I started just thinking like, oh, you can just truck it, sessioning it, because that's what I was like, just truck it a few more times. And I started like just kind of like the impact was worse and worse, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? You can't just casually truck something like this.
Yeah.
Like I was like getting sucked into my back wheel, and like it got to the point, and then there's so many people, and wind was off and on. Andrew's running around like a crazy person trying to get the right angles, like
I'm
telling me
sure
like you're
it was
good.
probably
Over...
so stressful.
Yeah, telling me like, yo, you're good. You have 10 seconds
And
before someone's gonna cross.
Just you and him, right? So there's no other spotters.
Vivi was with me, and my girlfriend came down, so she was kind of just hanging out watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to double truck it, and I still think like I could, but it just didn't happen that time. So the whole video was sick, but it was weird because the banger, it was good. It was a decent sized truck, but in my head I was like, it could have been better. But
No,
Leave something for another video.
I think everybody watching or nobody watching was like, I should have double trucked it.
Yeah,
you know, like
should've,
so.
but
Yeah, but
we have an
they don't know
idea
that.
for next video. So
Oh, that's cool.
not that spot, but
Yeah.
we have a cool idea. So
You gonna do something else with it with Andrew?
we'll see. I'd like to. Gotta kind of. He's a busy dude and a lot going on, so we'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
What we gotta Andrew get those B-roll clips to me eventually. So
Which ones?
Well, we just talked about doing like a raw release of it, like
that'd be
without
cool.
the
That'd be fun to
the
watch.
stuff,
Oh, sick,
but-
dude. That'd be
but,
cool.
so-
Yeah. Even
Just
like
the same video because he never fell.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
I
just
mean,
all
yeah,
the same
babe.
clips raw.
In reality, right? It's
That's
just
so
like
funny. I
here's,
heard-
There's, like,
here's all the
nothing else
clips.
to
It's
it.
just him pulling
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, I heard that from a few people. Like people bring it up and be like, "Dude, I heard you didn't fall once," and I was like, "Who's saying this?" And they're like, "Oh, Andrew," and I'm like, "Well, that's sick. He's speaking pretty highly of me out here."
I think
Like,
it's in the description, maybe. But
Oh, cool.
is it true? I mean, like
I'm actually thinking back. I'm like, I don't like. There's stuff that took a while to
Yeah.
land, But I don't think I fell, I guess. Now, like, looking back.
So crazy.
Wrong.
Wrong.
That flare. Why do I keep hitting this?
That's all right.
Halfway
This is
through the
directly in
video,
front of your face.
I did a flare, like right when the songs transitioned. I like flared the street gap.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what's up? Or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's when the other song kind of kicks in. The first time I went for that, I did just jump off my bike, like midair. I landed on my feet, but that's a fall, so.
That's not.
But
a
that's
fall.
how flares
That's
work. If
not
you
a
bail
fall.
on them, you.
Say more of a bail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you land on
Falls
your,
where you're like all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I'm
like
just
a
trying to think,
slam.
like, did I?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Damn.
Yeah.
that's impressive.
Got lucky.
Got to be a record.
Yeah.
Crazy viewed video part to just bail once.
Yeah, I was like, how do you not fall? And he's like, well, it was just kind of like we were just casual, like.
Kept it. I think because there's no pressure, too. If you
Yeah.
feel obligated to, like.
I'm
say-
saying this guy's on one too. Like that truck you're saying is like, dude, no one thought that isn't worthy of a banger for that, even
Exactly.
for that part. And he's like, yeah, I wasn't really feeling
And he did it 5 times.
It's weird when you, like,
6
know you
times.
could have done something a little more.
I
Yeah.
feel you. I
No,
feel
I know
you.
that. We
I
all
get
know
that.
that.
I've had
And
those bangers where you're like, yeah.
I'm the
that
worst to walk
could
away
have
from
been a little
shit, too.
crazier.
Like, I went back to Arizona 2 times before to try to get a banger.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we were so close and didn't get it. And then we were just like, all right, put the video out. Stop
What
trying
was it?
this.
Or
I was like,
are you saving it for something else?
no, I don't care. It was a 5-cap bar, but the setup was so perfect. And I think I almost did it first try, too. Like, right when we got there. And then I tried it
flat,
for.
like down some stairs or something.
Yeah, it was like this bank going up the spot. And, like, it was kind of a tall drop. It was like 6.5. No, it was about 6 feet. But I had never done one in the streets before. I've done them over, like, A-frames and on hips. And I was like, I want one. Like, I want one just off something. Because not too many people were doing them. And it was with a free coaster. Almost did it first try and then just slowly lost it. I ended up in the hospital from it too. I got so dehydrated. So
Oh, shit.
Damn.
yeah,
We go get like pumped IVs. Like,
exactly. I got 3 liters of that oxygenated saline pumped into my arm.
how'd you know you need to go to the hospital? Were you just like
Dude, it
blacking
was-
out or something?
My flight was that night. I had like a overnight flight home. So we were like, all right, we have till like 6 o'clock to get this clip. And then we got to pack up and go to the airport. And then like 6 o'clock came around and I had only drank a black coffee that day.
Wow.
Had no water, but I was just like, get this trick. Because
Yeah.
in my head, I was like, you're going to land it. You're going to land it. And then we packed up. We're leaving. And Bobby Cano's driving. And like my hands just got wicked tingly. My face started like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like pinging all over my face. And I was like, dude, something's weird. And my hands just like tightened up. And he was in the gas station when this is like actually happening. And then he came out. And I was like, dude, I think I'm like really dehydrated or something. He's like, yeah, just drink some water. And he had got me water from the gas station. Because when we pulled up, I was like, dude, I didn't even want to get out. I was just so tired. And I was like struggling to even grab it. And then he's like, we got to get you to the hospital. I don't know if he saw the panic in my face, but I kind of blacked out on the drive over. And we get there. He like runs inside or something. The nurse comes out and like I get out, sit in a wheelchair. It's weird. It's kind of a blur, but they said I was super dehydrated. It's good that I went there.
That's crazy.
But went
Damn.
from the hospital straight to the airport.
Oh, you actually made the flight?
Yeah.
Damn, just got pumped with some water real
Got
quick.
on the flight and I don't know what it was. Had a panic attack on the flight. Like I didn't know what a panic attack was.
Mm-hmm.
But I was on the flight and my heart just started beating so fast. And I could like feel it. And my whole body was pulsing. And I started convincing, I was like, what if I'm not a doctor. I was like, what if the stuff they pumped into you is like bubbling up or something?
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, you're not supposed to be at this altitude, or like kind of freaked myself out. Got up, went to the bathroom, looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, yo, you're fine, dude. Got out of the bathroom and was like, you're not fine. Felt like I was going to pass out. Just kind of like grabbed the walls in the flight. And I was like, you all right, sir? And like told her, I was like, like something's going on. And I just sat with her pretty much the whole flight in the back of the plane to Boston. And she just gave me snacks and water and stuff. I was fine, but like my heart rate would kind of go up. And I was like sitting there. I was like, all right, Matt, just breathe. That's actually, I learned a lot about breathing on that flight. So I
crazy.
thought I was going to die on
I'm sure.
on the
I'm sure
airplane.
just somebody telling you like you're okay.
It's kinda what it was,
Yeah,
too.
like because I mean it's all.
And she was telling me, she's like, oh, I've had, like, it's a panic attack. It's like, all you do is just kind of breathe. And, like, every time I would breathe, my heart rate would go down. So it's like, all right, I'm good. But then, like, out of nowhere, it would just, like, kick in. And I was like, what is happening?
That's crazy.
But I got home. I couldn't
Probably
ride
just
for,
really
like, a
messed
month
up
and a half
too, yeah.
after.
You just messed yourself up getting that dehydrated.
What's crazy, I went to the doctors after, and I had an irregular heartbeat from it, from getting so dehydrated. And they had to put me on, like, an EKG and, like, run me on a treadmill machine and stuff to kind of, like, balance. It was weird. I had to
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, no one really knows about it, but
Now
it
they
was a
do.
weird time.
Damn, dude.
Wow.
Gave myself anxiety or something
Yeah,
from
I
it,
think
but
just probably getting that dehydrated like actually fucked you, you know, and then that's
Something,
why you
yeah.
couldn't control yourself on the plane. Like,
Yeah,
It was
your
bizarre.
I mean, your body is senses that something is wrong, and then it just triggers.
especially when
up.
you're, if I was like on the ground, I think I could have been like, all right, get to a hospital and you'll be okay. But I think since I was in the sky, I had the thought of like, dude, you're not going to a hospital if something happens.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to hope that these people can save you on this flight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a weird time, but
Crazy.
learned a lot about breathing because I had to calm myself down quite a few times.
Drink some water when trying to get a banger.
Yeah, seriously. Gallon a day.
Especially in Arizona.
Well, I started to run through the Instagram comments. The first question was hardest trick battle so far, so that may have been it right there, basically.
Probably.
I mean, you had to let that one go, obviously, but in the hospital,
That's
IV
crazy.
bags, panic attack. That sounds
That's
pretty
some
much
shit. It's one of the craziest
think
things I've
every-
ever heard about trying a trick.
Yeah, it's weird. It's strange looking back. I'm like, what were you doing? But it was dry heat. You don't realize how hot it is.
Yeah.
It's not like it's humid. You're just kind of out there, but you are in the middle of the desert, so.
Yeah.
Uh,
What rude. I have no idea how to say it.
Instagram names are
level
crazy.
mans. Yeah, free coaster or cassette. So you just mentioned having a free coaster.
Yeah, you go
on,
back and
so-
forth a lot.
Yeah. For a while I was just free coaster, but like starting out riding, I was cassette because that's just what everyone rode. But nowadays, I think it's funny. My buddy Johnny Reve, he fixes my wheels and builds them. I'll ride a cassette for like 2 months, and once the wheel just gets toast and beat up and it's missing spokes, I'll pass him off that wheel, put my free coaster wheel on that he already fixed up, and that wheel's fresh for 2, 3, 4 months. Once that gets super beat up, he already fixed my cassette. So it's kind of just like that's the cycle.
That's
It's funny.
interesting.
It's not like some days I could watch a Courage Adams video and I'm like, yo, cassette, I'm putting this on. I'm going to go do fakie manuals and nose manuals and try tech stuff. And it's fun because my local park, Hadley, it's all little stuff. So you can just do everything. But then some days I'll watch you or Garrett or Chad and I'm like, all right, I want to go do like fakie stuff with a free coaster. And it just keeps it fun. I like both.
That's cool.
It's like 2 different bike controls that you can have.
Yeah, I feel
That's-
like
Yeah, it's funny at the ramps. I was like, I didn't even like. It's funny you ride a cassette. Like
I kept saying I was going to put the coaster on to ride your ramps just because I like riding ramps with a coaster more.
that's funny. That's probably
It's
like
it's weird.
very rare for anybody
Yeah,
to say
well,
Yeah,
that.
but I just haven't. It's tucked in
Crazy
the
with fakey
front of my
tricks, you know. Like,
truck, so I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it in there. Haven't dug it out yet.
Yeah, why do you like it? Free coaster better on ramps.
Just there's no noise, and it's like the air recorder, and it's just like da-doom, da-doom, like back in, and you just I don't know. It's weird. I feel like your bike coasts a little faster too. Something about it's just cool. It's different, and just to do like a big 180 or stuff like that, it's fun. I like it. Yeah, I can't say I like it more. I guess it's just.
Got its perks.
If I were to pick one for ramps, it'd probably be a free coaster. And for fakie tricks on quarters, to do like a truck fakie,
You don't have to set
you
your
just
feet.
relax. Like just yep.
interesting.
Cassette's
Yeah.
cool though because it's lighter. That's the one thing I like about a cassette. I
Yeah.
haven't rode one in a long time, but the
Definitely.
lightness.
And tire taps.
Mm-hmm.
Chadwick asks, best moment of your BMX career thus far.
Contest wise would be just getting second at X Games because it's just X Games. Like to me, it's I'm still like a little kid riding a bike. So
The pinnacle of contests for sure.
I'd say silver at X Games for sure.
What
But for like a
ice-
memory or something for a trip, would 100% be the Atlanta trip that we did, the one video.
Mhm.
That trip, like the crew and all the spots, like I just think Atlanta's cool, like for rap and everything. It's like where Gucci's from, all these rappers, and we stayed in Zone 6, like where they all rap about. And like a few nights of the week, we heard gunshots and all this stuff. It was just such an insane week, and everyone was stacking, like everyone was vibing. It was just fun. So I'd say like highlight would be that trip.
That's
just
cool. Best trip ever.
Yeah, it was so cool. Like everything about that trip was it was just amazing. It was cool.
Sick.
Yeah, for sure.
This one is a
Shout out Chadwick. He killed that trip.
B Rouse 84. I
Instagram
heard
questions.
about a trip he went on early in his sponsorship where he didn't ride with the other guys and then went on solo missions, which was off-putting to people. I also heard that he just wasn't aware of what he was supposed to do on a team trip. It didn't sound like he was. We could cut this out if it is. It didn't sound like he was trying to be rude or anything, but it was just on his own thing. It would be super.
Does it say what
interesting to
trip?
hear. It doesn't say which trip.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe like one of my first Shadow Subrosa trips with my ex-girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was one trip where after Chadwick and Ronnie like did like a phone call thing, and they're like, "Dude, you gotta chill on being on your phone, like talking to your chick and stuff." But it's like 16,
Yeah.
obsessed with her and like all this weird stuff. So maybe that trip, but I don't think that would be it
Just
because that
not
was
actually
between
on
us.
the trip. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let
Interesting.
me scratch that one. Who knows?
Sounds like you just heard shit. That's not true.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a third person.
And maybe if it is true, someone bring it up and tell me.
Jamie, I don't know. Jamie Cooper Ellis asks, when
The
are we going to
homie.
see a 1080 bar on street?
when I find a big box jump in the streets, I guess, with a grass landing.
Hell of a question, Jamie.
Yeah, that's a crazy.
Yeah, I
one.
mean, he asked about East Coast stuff too, but we already touched on that. So.
Jamie's sick.
Yeah, he's cool. Shout out.
Yeah. Jamie's really sick, actually. I think he's been dealing with a knee injury too, so he hasn't been riding too much, or he might be getting back into
Does he
it
live
now.
up by you? He's up like, northeast, right?
2.5, 3 hours north. He's up in
Okay.
Vermont.
Oh wow.
His parents do like all the maple syrup and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah, he's
Got a
really
good
cool.
thing
He
going.
was hanging out here a lot for a bit.
Beautiful country up there.
Cameron Dodd 98 thought on wearing a helmet. He says, remember you making a post about wearing a helmet and that you'd always wear one, however you don't consistently.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Like if I ride big ramps, pretty much always wear a helmet, and then riding street, if I'm doing something big like that truck in New York City, I had my helmet on for that. Just some things I'm like, yeah, it's probably better off to wear a helmet, even though you usually fall on like the dumb little things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, try to have like a healthy balance, because if I'm just going to session, I don't really want to wear a helmet, to be honest. I just want to go ride and kick it. But if I'm riding big ramps or big skate parks, definitely got a helmet for sure.
He also you followed up with a separate post, but what's the biggest park trick you could do? I'm pretty sure I could remember seeing you do flare whips.
I did flare-ups to Resi one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, at K-Rob's old park, Impact. But I would say a 1080 is probably the coolest thing I've done.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And looking back at it, I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll do another one someday. I actually did one. The last one I did was in Florida on this big Resi. I think it was Mike Spinner's old Resi. At some outdoor park somewhere, there was a contest. And everyone's like, yo, try it, because I was doing sevens, and I hucked it. I ended up landing it like second try. First one I slid out or something. But it was crazy. It was the first one I ever did brakeless. Because before, when I did them, I had brakes. So
That's crazy. Has anyone ever done a 5 triple bar besides you?
I was going to say, I did on a quarter pipe.
I know you did it on the
Yeah.
quarter pipe at like when
Someone has, for sure.
only a couple years ago. That was
I bet
insane.
like Varga did one.
Probably,
Didn't
yeah.
he do that
Yeah.
transfer at that one in Austin?
Maybe.
It was triple, I think.
Yeah.
so-
I've never
I
seen
don't
you
know.
do that. Just
That's
like
so random that I even remember that.
It's
but-
crazy. That day, I
BMX
felt
expert.
I was like hungover at Battle of Hastings, and I felt sick that day. And it was one of those things, everyone was going, and I was like, dude, you got to drop in and do something. And then I was doing 5 double bars the day before, I think. And I was like, I'm just going to try it. And it ended up working. Like, the last bar, I remember just throwing it, and I was like, dude, you're eating shit. And I caught it and just, like, rode away. And I was like, no, fucking way. Everyone was going nuts. It was cool.
Yeah, those are crazy. Those vibes at those. There's
Yeah,
like the,
it's crazy watching those clips, like, looking back, and it's like, that was on, like, the stoke there was insane.
Always is in that building during the
So
best
cool.
trick jams. It gets
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, it's fun.
You gonna read some more Instagram
Yeah, we're gonna.
questions?
Sorry,
Fudger?
there's a lot of
Got a
stuff
lot
that
of them.
there's some long-winded ones.
Shout out to everyone who writes into our BMX Instagram.
Evil BMXican. Why doesn't this guy have an energy drink sponsor? Definitely deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one day contest pop back up. I'm not sure how all that actually works. I've talked to people before, and then that was kind of after 2019 contest and stuff. And then once COVID happened, I think it was kind of like everything was put on pause. So
Yeah.
Just
not
got
sure.
the Flow shoe deal, so you can work your way up on that, and then hopefully energy drink
Yeah.
sponsor. Just keep going.
Yeah, it'd be cool for sure.
Fire emojis.
Fire emojis because I posted the fucking
Clip.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. People don't read the captions. Clip. Oh,
Yeah.
triple bar.
Yeah.
Comment.
There was one now I lost it. Just trying to
There's some cool photos in here. For sure.
Yeah, every time I come in here, I'm like, damn, that's a new one. That's a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The Taj's Nora Cup speech. That's how much of a fucking nerd I am. I was like, I grabbed it.
Taj got to be on here one
Yeah,
day.
I mean,
That'd be awesome.
oh, Josh_Bowler. What's your favorite clip spot that you've ever gotten or been to?
Like for me?
Yeah. Is there like one that pops into your mind when you say that?
I don't know. I always think there is, but then I think like there's so many other clips. Maybe just like from all my edits, one of the banger of each edit is probably one of like my favorite clips, because each time I film something, it's like, yo, this is the sickest clip I ever got. 5 months later, when you film a different banger for a different video, like, yo, this is the sickest clip I ever got. So just bangers in my videos, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that, not bangers, but the last clips of my videos are probably my proudest moments.
Until the next one happens.
Until the next
basically,
video, yeah.
That's cool. That's a good thing. Fred Marsimison really laced that one. Brings up the nose manual at the front of, or at the beginning of the Boston Massacre video.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like there's got to be a story behind that. Like, I feel like whenever there's a bridge clip like that,
It was
either
talked about. It was
Yeah.
just like a thing. We were like, dude, any clip on the bridge. And I don't like calling stuff out unless I'm like confident I'll do it. So I never even said it. I was like, yo, let's get the bar manual bar across. And it's funny. It's right next to my barbershop back home. Mm-hmm. And I've always just seen it. And we sessioned it one time before, just like hitting it and then bouncing off the side, like using it as like a flyout pretty much. Then when Andrew came, I was like, dude, I know I can ride at least over it, like manual. And I flew up it and like almost shot like 5 feet up onto it, which scared the shit out of me. And I was like, all right, we at least can get the manual now. I did the manual. Or actually did the manual a while ago on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
I was manual across it. Then with him, we did the bar manny bar. And we were so psyched on it. I was like, I'm just going to try to nosy. And like within like a few tries, I got really far. Because I was like, I'm just never going to flip over. I'm just going to like slowly push all the way across.
Yeah.
And there's a few I got close, and I was like, dude, it has to happen now. It's right there. And then it actually didn't take that long. It was just one of those ones like started going, and each side of the bridge had like a notch that stuck out probably like an inch and a half. So I got to that and like literally had to hop over it in. And the side I went up was not as steep as the side I went down. So it was like landing into a pretty steep wedge.
Yeah.
How wide was that thing? It looks skinny.
It wasn't
Skinny enough to...
a foot and a half maybe.
Yeah.
Did you ever flip over the bars?
No.
No.
But a train would go under that bridge a few times, and the whole thing would shake.
While you were on it?
I wouldn't do it when I heard the
okay,
train
I was
coming,
gonna
but
say.
there was a few times I was just like, I would start to nosy and then drop it, so I'd like kind of skid to a stop on top of the bridge, and the train would pass, and I was like, I'm just gonna sit here, and the whole thing's like just shaking and stuff. But yeah, that was weird debating.
Is that high
like,
enough to like break your ankle if you fell off?
I mean, it was pretty. I mean, it was high enough. High enough because you can't probably
train was
choose
under
where
the
you're going to
bridge.
go off of it either.
Yeah, I know, but like if you were to fall
It
off...
was pretty tall. I never rode off the side, so I got lucky.
But so
And-
that part is high, but how far is like? If obviously there's like a sidewalk and railing, but what's the other drop?
50 feet or
Oh,
45
yeah.
feet.
Don't go off
Yeah.
that.
But you'd have to jump to make it over the fence.
Yeah.
But even to ride off the side would have sucked for sure.
But I feel like almost like the perspective of seeing it. You know,
Yeah.
like
We were
like,
debating on using that as the banger too. We were just like,
Yeah.
but we were just like, dude, put it right at the beginning.
It's a cool opener.
No, it's
Yeah,
a great
it's more
like,
opener.
holy
Great,
shit,
yeah,
like, just-
really pulls you in. Obviously, like I mean that. Yeah, we'll use that for the thumb.
That
I
could
always
be
like
one
it
of
when
my-
the thumbnail is like the first clip too, because it pulls you in. You get to see it, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
stick around. So
Honestly, bringing it back to the other question, like one of my favorite clips, probably that.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's
that
cool.
would probably be it actually.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing I'll always look back at and be like, damn, that really happened.
yeah.
It's
and
not like
like a
so
stunt,
crazy, but
like
it's just like, it's so cool looking, like a bridge. Who the
Yeah.
hell rides across a bridge?
and especially when you've seen it for so long too, and you're like, all right, one day maybe.
My barber doesn't even speak English. It's just they definitely sell drugs and stuff out of the barber shop. It's a pretty crazy little spot. But I showed him the clip one time, and I almost thought I was like, my phone's going missing. He showed the entire place, went outside, and like showing people sitting outside the clip and like pointing to the bridge and stuff. They're freaking out. And ever since then, my haircut's gotten $5 cheaper. It was usually $20.
That's awesome.
He's always 15. He's like, my dude, when I walk in, it's cool.
That's pretty funny.
He likes
You
it.
get something to talk about for like 2 hours afterwards.
It's the
like
same
that
thing
guy
every
that was in
time.
here,
That
yeah.
We always-
clip made you some money in the long run. Saving money at the
Gotta
barber.
get free haircuts. That's the
Yeah.
goal. Yeah.
Keep doing stuff on the bridge. It goes down $5 every time.
Shout him out.
Yeah.
Film a little commercial, get a haircut, and
Yeah.
go ride the bridge.
That's a good
funny.
idea.
Racing background, Cornflakes future.
There was a Bill Ricca BMX track back home, and I would go there a little bit. Never raced. My dad would bring me there on like off days, and I would just ride the track, like to do tricks.
So did your dad ride BMX? 'Cause I feel like he's like, or is he's just down?
He just supported me so
That's cool.
much.
That's
It's
awesome.
crazy. He brought all my friends to skate parks and stuff, and
Hell yeah.
definitely lucky. He was supportive for sure. But no,
That's what's up.
What was your favorite part from USA Mendez? Your favorite video part growing up, and how did it influence your riding?
I would say Scotty Kramer.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that beforehand. I was like, if I asked that, because I was like,
That
there's
sentence to
so.
life part?
What's that?
The sentence to life part?
I don't even know what part. Just anything from
Oh, yeah.
him.
Scotty.
I'd watch so much, or even like that Odyssey Electron video.
Electronical.
Electronic. That was insane. Like I
That's a
used to
good
watch
video.
that so much.
Mhm.
But growing up, it was a lot of Scotty Kramer. And funny enough, too, even Sean Riccaney. Like because he was similar in age, and he was just in the spotlight always, and like Camp Woodward and like premium stuff at the Incline Club. I would just watch his videos all the time, and like obviously Garrett Reynolds and you and shit. But to bring it like way back when I first started like really watching BMX, it was definitely that electronical video.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Shout out to Ricani too. He's had a hell of a career.
it's crazy.
Crazy.
Another
Even like when
another Unclicked
Yeah,
podcast.
get on here,
flake.
Sean.
Has he been on this? No.
No, we want
No.
him to.
That'd be cool.
He's,
I'm done asking him.
Uh,
He says he's down, and then he's
But
like,
it's just-
and then he just
I
disappears.
think he lives
or
in
something.
Florida now or
I
something.
think he goes back
too.
and forth a little
He
bit.
bought a house out there.
But it's crazy how long of a career
Crazy
he's had that you watched him like when you were coming
Yeah.
up. You know, like he's been in it since he was a little fella.
All right, here's a decent question. Thomas underscore Trey Ham. Were bar spins ever hard?
Yeah, definitely. Because I learned them opposite actually, and then I learned 180 bars with the bar like top side, and then trucks with the bar top side, and even bars, like up a bar.
Yeah.
And then people at the park were like, dude, you gotta do them the other way, and it was so difficult to like do that. I felt like I was like a freaking T-Rex trying to spin my bars around. Like I just couldn't wrap my head around it. But yeah, for a
Impressive.
while. But then I think that's why I do so many now, because I was just like, it took me so long to figure out. So once I had them, I was like, every session, bar spin.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Repetition.
yeah, definitely. What are you doing over there, baby?
She's chilling.
Outside of stuff outside of BMX from Math Blue 215.
That's a good question, because being out here, I'm kind of thinking like, all right, when you go home, like, what's important? Like, what do you want to do when you're home? Because it's gonna be a long drive home, thinking like, what's to come. But definitely, I want to get into mountain biking more, because I had so much fun in Santa Cruz, and even hiking, like the White Mountains and stuff like that back home. I just want to hike as much as I can, just enjoy nature out there, and fix my dirt bike up. I got a pretty cool dirt bike that I haven't even ridden yet, so
That's
go
cool.
rip that around a bunch. Yeah, just random stuff, really. Just have fun with it.
There's 189 comments.
Really?
Yeah. So, or at least when I clicked it. So,
That's crazy. What's the worst comment you've seen so far?
can you roar for me?
Really?
Yeah.
It's crazy that many people
Insert
know
clip
about this.
here. Yeah.
That was a big interview thing from Simple Sessions.
Such a
with
weird
Fathead.
thing. It's weird
Yeah,
that people
I
remember
just saw
stuff
that.
like that.
Yeah, it's so
I
funny.
watch a lot of
but
random
that's
BMX
like
shit.
I
I
didn't
never saw
think.
that.
I honestly didn't think about it until you were sitting in front of me. I was like, oh yeah, the Simple.
I didn't
Session.
know what people meant for so long, because that's what me and Dan Lacey had like a little beef about.
Oh, he's just giving you shit. Like
I don't know.
Lacey's a hard ass. He loves you deep
But
down.
then
He's
when I met him, he
by
was
you.
cool. But he was like, "Yo, you gonna roar?" And I was like, "Is he talking shit or what's going on?" But then my buddy Johnny actually, he's like, "Yo, remember that video?" And I was like, "He's giving me shit about Simple Session,
Yeah.
huh?" But I never, I never knew what
meanwhile,
people
Lacey
meant.
also hates Fathead, probably.
I
Like
don't
they used to have. I mean, they probably love each other now, but they used to like.
He seems like a
fucking
pretty
have
hard-headed
problems.
dude.
Yeah, but so is Fathead. It's literally his name is Fathead.
Did you hit
Like,
Lacey up about being the co-host on this if I don't go to Hastings?
Well, I don't know if we're doing. I don't know if we're
Unclicked
doing
over the
that.
pond?
Yeah, that'd be cool to do that.
Are you gonna do it over there?
I mean, it's an idea.
Oh,
So
cool.
It's an idea, like just for Battle of Hastings week, almost like.
Oh,
you
just get a
know,
bunch
go
of
out
people
there,
in?
yeah, and just
And
bring
have
the
Lacey,
setup.
because I'm not going to go, so have Lacey sit
Yeah.
in for me.
Because of the vaccine.
I just don't feel like going in general.
Yeah, because
It's
when
the,
is
the
that?
dopest thing, but
September, October,
September 8th is the weekend.
and Simple Session, the summer one they're doing.
Oh yeah,
It's
I
like
don't
the
know.
weekend.
I wouldn't go. Don't do that to yourself.
Well, yeah, there's other reasons,
Yeah.
but also it's like right when the baby's getting here.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
what,
like,
no,
not
that's what I'm
happening.
saying. Yeah, like it's
Oh,
not,
yeah, yeah.
it's not worth it. Like,
And
yeah.
he wasn't talking shit on Simple Sessions.
no,
he was
no,
saying,
just saying like
baby.
the
A lot of
baby-
traveling,
baby
too.
stuff because you know
Everything's gonna
yeah.
coming right back. So
I
you don't
wasn't-
got to get overly impatient.
2022 is the year.
I was in Singapore like the week before my kid was.
Were you just kinda, like, anxious the whole
it's-
time?
Yeah,
Like-
it started to just build up, and I was
Oh my
like,
God, the
"Fuck it,
flight
I'm
home,
gonna
I'd be
fly
like,
home."
get me fucking home. Like,
I flew home like 3 days early because it was just like the paranoia of everything. Just really
even being on the
just,
flight,
like-
I'm sure like, all right, let's take off
Yeah,
now.
I
Like,
bought
load
internet.
Yeah, I would freak out.
Just so you can know you're missing the birth.
Oh
You're
my
still
God,
like.
dude.
over
I always
the
joke to
ocean.
my girl, I'm like, do you really want me there for it? Like, does it matter? Like, I'll see the baby after. And she's like, shut up, don't say that. I'm like, let's just stay in Cali. I'll send you some money.
Oh my god.
I would never.
Oh my
she's,
god.
Earlier you said she'll like this, but she won't like that.
She's not gonna like that.
She knows I'm
I think a
shut
lot
up.
of people aren't gonna like that.
Everyone's like, wow, he's pretty cool through this podcast. And then they're like, whoa,
He's
whoa, whoa.
like, what did he
blew
just
it.
say? Wow.
He blew it for me.
You got some fans and now you
Yeah.
just X them out.
Yeah.
He was kidding.
I'm canceled.
He was kidding.
I guess the last one. Levi Mart BMX asked him to play Kevin Peralta in a game of bike. You or Kevin?
I saw that comment,
Game of bike.
It just depends the day, honestly.
It could. Yeah,
he could
I
be
could
on
see
it that day. I could be on it.
That'd be a good
Even like
game.
a contest.
Yeah.
It's the same. Whoever's riding good that day.
Especially when you're on the level of like you and Kevin, where it comes down to the course in the day.
Yeah.
You know, like you both could. You could win one day. He could win the other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hell yeah, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
you are human. He
Dead
came and
serious.
spoke some words.
It's
Human.
cool. It's cool to get to know you a little bit because, as I said
Yeah.
before, I feel like every interaction has been pretty surface level, and
And
it's
always
been
at
hard
contest.
to kind of
Like, we're
kind
kind
of
of
hard
busy.
to.
Everyone's doing their thing.
Yeah, I feel like you're like down and you want to talk, but then we're just like, yeah, I don't know anything about you. You don't know.
What am I
anything
gonna bring
about
up?
me.
Yeah.
So how's the bike riding going?
It's always fun. It's
apparently pretty good out there. You're still doing
California,
good.
right? Dude? Like, it's always that type of stuff.
Yeah,
But,
so-
No, thank
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys for this too. This was cool.
Thank
Sorry.
you. Yeah,
Cool
I've been
opportunity.
stoked to hang out with you a little bit more the last couple weeks. And
Definitely.
Wish you the best of luck on the road trip home, the new
Sick.
baby, and I'm sure your career is
Thank
just
you.
going to keep skyrocketing if you keep doing what you do.
That's funny, the baby thing. When my girl told me like a few weeks after, and then you announced yours. It was a joke. I said to my girl, I'm like, "Yo, Dennis is having a baby. Everything's fine. Like, it's fine. Like, we're in this together."
Yeah.
Yeah.
COVID baby crew. We're all going to
Yeah.
have little baby friends.
It'll be cool.
I have a
So-
group. I have a group message where it's literally titled BMX Dads. You'll
Yeah.
have a little crew of your
We'll
boys.
start our own.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like
right.
like literally, it's
Or even
it's cool.
Even my
Addison.
buddy
Yeah, I'll
Michael
add
just
you.
had
I'll
a
add you
kid.
up.
And he's so psyched on it. He's like, "Dude, it's so fun." He's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah." So
You're going to do a great job.
It's a,
No, thank
it's
you.
a
Appreciate
rearranging
that.
of priorities.
Yeah.
is the way it goes. But
a lot of
you know,
diapers.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
sir.
That
But
too.
so you haven't had plans to work on a new part yet, but you haven't officially started a new part, but you have plans.
Oh yeah, I figured you guys asked me that. I don't know if I ever said anything.
I don't think you kind of
We have some trips we're planning, but everything's still in the air.
Shadow
Um,
Subrosa stuff, or is this
Yeah,
cool?
exactly. But even in general, I started filming with Jonah. He's from Florida.
Uh-huh.
He lives right by.
Oh yeah,
just-
Jonah kills it. Yeah,
He's
yeah,
so
yeah.
sick.
Yeah,
I just met him recently. And
he's got a cool style with everything too. Good.
yeah, we filmed some stuff in Florida actually. It's actually some of the best riding I've ever filmed.
Dope.
And it's just like we have like 3 or 4 clips, and we're just like, do we make it into like a little frame promo for Instagram? But I think we're just gonna.
Best clips you've ever filmed.
Yeah,
Build off of
don't-
that shit.
There's some cool stuff
Yeah,
that
dude.
yeah, it was cool. We filmed in Tallahassee, which I didn't even know they had spots.
I don't
out
think
there.
you want your favorite clips you ever filmed to go to a frame promo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
mean, you could, but
You know how Garrett has like an Instagram promo where it's just like one epic clip in slow mo and then it just
Yeah.
shows his frame. We were kind of thinking something like that, but
that's cool too.
but
Lots of places.
he's gonna come to Boston. I think is the plan. Once I get home, come up for a few weeks in July and just try to hammer out a full video.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
'cause the spots up there are untouched. Like
Yeah.
not much is happening. So well, there's crews and shit filming, but like you don't see teams going to Boston and stuff. So
Every once in a while, it's a rare
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
Yeah.
Are you and Burns cool?
oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, I feel like
For a while, I don't think not that he didn't like me, but I was like, he was kind of like not like a veteran pro, but he was so established, and I was kind of still like,
Just had a different group of friends, I'm sure.
yeah, exactly, and like not like he ever cool guyed me, but I was probably some little annoying kid at the skate park, so maybe I got the wrong impression. I was like, oh, he does not like me.
Yeah.
But then one day he posted a photo of these trails that I grew up riding, and I was like, no fucking way he rode here. And this was kind of recently. I commented, I was like, dude, so sick. The Postals is what they were called. And like right after he followed me back and stuff, I was like, oh, sick, we're cool. Like, yeah. And since
Yeah,
then, he's liked stuff and his comments and stuff.
yeah,
so.
I feel like Burns is down.
Yeah.
I feel like Burns is down for more stuff than people give him the
He's a
benefit
cool
of the
dude.
doubt.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because
Make an opinion in your head about someone just from
Yeah,
other
exactly.
people's interactions and stuff. But
And he's also another one that if you just watch the videos and how he looks and stuff, he's kind of intimidating. You know,
Yeah.
You're like,
100%.
I'm not sure how he is. Then you meet him, you're like, oh, he's just a normal.
even like
really
Chris
cool
Muller,
dude.
like
yeah, exactly.
same thing I said about him. Like I thought you're like he's an intimidating person, but then listening to the podcast, I was like, I like him. I like
yeah,
people like
yeah,
that. I like
yeah.
his view on things. It's cool. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah! Well, thanks, Matt,
Cool.
and
Yeah.
can't wait to see new footage. Can't wait to follow you on the gram and see all the
Sick.
crazy clips you post when you're back home. And
Yeah, dude, thank you guys for this.
Hell
That's
yeah.
cool.
Thank
I'm
you.
psyched we got
Glad
to
you
do it.
hell yeah, brother.
Good way to end the trip
Thank
for
you, dude.
sure.
Yes, sir. Keep doing you. Thank you, Unclicked, Traction Coffee, RBMX, Ryan Fudger, and Matt Ray.
Thanks
Peace
for
and
watching,
love.
guys.
Shred. Later.